As we come back here on Home Country Radio KLGZ, it's time to take a look at your Grassmasters Field Condition Report. As tonight's Field Condition Report is brought to you by Grassmasters, the area's premier lawn care and tree care provider. Well, we got a lot of rain in Algona this morning. Field is not looking too bad right now, but that being said, it is going to be a little bit soft tonight, as we do have some mist falling right now. That's going to cause the grass to be a little bit slippery, so a little bit harder for those players that like to move laterally, cut on a dime, and things like that. And as the night goes on, I do think the field may get torn up just a little bit, just because, again, softer night, the cleats are going to be digging in, and we've had a little bit of rain just soaking into the ground throughout the course of the day today. So should be interesting, should be a night where it might be a little bit better to be a power guy than a speed guy, and that is what's going to make tonight's matchup very interesting in this one. So Bishop Garrigan and Harris Lake Park coming up, and that'll be at 7 o'clock tonight. Homecoming night for the Golden Bears with a 2-2 record facing the 3-1 Wolves. Golden Bears looking to get back on track after a couple losses in a row. So kind of first real night of true fall football weather, which is appropriate as we've officially turned over to fall. But we've got a mist falling right now in downtown Algona. Field might be a little slippery tonight, and that is your Grassmasters Field Condition Report. We'll take another timeout, and the pregame show continues coming up next on Home Country Radio. Getting set for Bishop Garrigan against Harris Lake Park here on Home Country Radio. As we'll have a quick look here at the starting lineups for tonight. We're doing things a little bit out of order here, but now's as good a time as any to take a look at the rosters for these two teams and what they bring into tonight's game. So starting off with the Bishop Garrigan offense, they'll be led by senior quarterback Garrett Hine. Also on the offense, running back Cal Berkey. You've got the fullback Caden Roffler. Berkey is a senior, Roffler a junior. Jack Ranjanette, the lone wide receiver for Bishop Garrigan. While up front, they've shuffled things a little bit the last couple of weeks. Last week, they had Drew Casey, Nate Brunk, and Keaton Helliseth up front with Aiden Hovey, the tight end for the Golden Bears. Coach Wadley did hint at a couple guys maybe shifting in and out a little bit as the night goes on, and we'll see exactly how they want to play that in Lake Park if they didn't have him, but he normally has been the starting quarterback throughout the course of the season. So they've got Gunderson at quarterback, up on the line in front of him. Harris Lake Park coming in 3-1, and Wolves are on a roll. They have won 3 straight games in a row. Well, it looks like Garrigan won the toss and deferred to the second half, as that is your coin toss brought to you by Eyes on Forrington as we get set to go for tonight's game. Bishop Garrigan wearing their home black and gold uniforms. It's the black pants and black jersey tops with the gold numerals on the front and back. Harris Lake Park, they've got the blue pants for their jersey, white jersey tops, and white helmets, as Bishop Garrigan will tee it up and get set to kick off for tonight's game. Again, a misty 55 degrees outside. And first official football game of fall getting set to go here. What a huge district game for tonight. Bishop Garrigan already has one district loss under their belt. Harris Lake Park undefeated in the district so far as the game kicks off and we are underway. The kick bounces down to the 5-yard line where it's picked up by the Wolves and it's returned by Caleb Hemphill. And he gets a cluster of Golden Bears at about the 17-yard line and he's driven backwards. So Harris Lake Park, they'll actually mark him at the 15-yard line and the return from Hemphill. Good directional kick by the Golden Bears, getting a good bounce there and nice coverage as they've done quite a bit on special teams so far this season. So Harris Lake Park will set up here. And the quarterback is not going to be Tice Gunderson, so he is out for tonight. Lucas Ahrensdorf instead will take the snaps at quarterback. That'll be a big thing to watch here throughout the game as Hemphill motions across the formation. It's a little screen out to the left. Hemphill catches it. He's across the 20. He's to the 24, and he's tackled by a gang of Golden Bears led by Sam Plath. And that will go for a gain of about 6 or 7 on that first down toss. So second down, make it about 4 yards to go here. The Golden Bears will try to get Harris Lake Park behind the sticks, but that's a nice start if you're the Wolves. They run a lot of their plays in empty formations as they are right now. If the quarterback in the shotgun, one tight end on each side of the line and one receiver on each side. Hemphill motions from right to left again at the snap. In motion, Ahrensdorf runs to the left. Flag flies on the play. Ahrensdorf looking for the sideline, and he steps out of bounds after a 1-yard gain, but that appears to be an illegal shift against the offense. The referees are talking to the Bishop Garrigan side, seeing if they'll accept the penalty or not. And Coach Patterson, the defensive coordinator, is signaling to back up the Wolves. So an illegal shift. They had a man in motion at the time of the snap, and that will back Harris Lake Park up 5 yards here and set up second down and about 9 to go. So ball back inside the 20-yard line, back to the 19. Wind kind of gusting on and off here tonight. And that mist just continuing to fall in the background. But talking of Coach Lane Gunderson from the Wolves before the game, he said they changed up their offense a little bit this season. A little more focus on getting guys in space. A little bit different than last year as Ahrensdorf is in the gun. Ahrensdorf looking to throw, but he'll step up and try to run for the middle instead. And he is dragged down at the 20-yard line. It almost looked like a natural draw that time, but Ahrensdorf was not going anywhere fast. And Caleb Borman comes out of the pile, pumped up and pumping his fists. He rode Ahrensdorf down after a gain of about only 1 yard, and it's now third down, 8 yards to go. The line to gain is going to be the 28-yard line for Harris Lake Park. So third down and 8, 10:47 on the clock here in quarter number 1. Hemphill's on the right side of the formation. In empty is Ahrensdorf. Back to throw. Golden Bears rush 3. He'll throw deep down the middle of the field, and he way overshot his target that time. Incomplete. He was looking for the wide receiver, Landon Whitrock, coming down the middle. And Harris Lake Park will punt here from their own 20-yard line. So good early defensive stand for the Golden Bears. They know Harris Lake Park, even if they're starting quarterback out. Lucas Ahrensdorf has a lot of speed, but Golden Bears would not let him scramble there early in the game. And it'll be a punting situation now, as a flag flies in as everyone is getting into formation. We'll see what the call is here. This is going to be against Harris Lake Park, and did they have too many men on the field there? That may be what the call is, but they're going to back up the Wolves by 5 yards, so that'll help the Golden Bears of field position. The punter, Mikael Loinstra, senior, standing with his heels back inside the 10-yard line. He's at the 8. Grangenet and Berkey are back deep to receive for Bishop Garrigan. Snap moves Loinstra to the side, and he kicks a spiraling kick towards Grangenet. Grangenet catches at the 30. He's hit immediately as he falls forward, and he's out to the 32-yard line. Landon Whitrock making the tackle, and Bishop Garrigan will have good starting field position here to begin the drive. So 10:29 on the clock. And Golden Bears, led by senior quarterback Garrett Hine, will head out onto the field. And boy, do they need to get back on track on offense. A shutout last week against Newell Fonda in the 19-0 loss. Golden Bears went 0 for 4 on fourth down conversions in that game. They got inside the red zone a couple of times, but they were not able to punch it in at any point. So we'll see what they come out with this week. Berkey's coming out in the slot to the right. Grangenet wide to the right as Hine starts in the shotgun. On his right hip is Caden Roffler as Aiden Hovey, the tight end, is on the left side of the offensive line. Hine on the quarterback draw, sneaking his way through the middle. He's across the 30, out to the 35, and he's out to the 38-yard line. So Hine will gain about 6 yards on that first down carry. That'll set up second down and about 4 to go. a quick quarterback draw that's a designed run by Garrett Hine, and he had a lot of space right up the middle of the defense, and that's something to watch tonight. The Garrigan offensive line against the Harris Lake Park defensive line. Bishop Garrigan's going to have the size advantage up front. Can they capitalize on it? Hines underneath center, 2 receivers to the right, turns and gives to Roffler, lowers the shoulder, and buries his way for the first down. Tackle made by Devin Meyer, but not before Roffler picks up the required 4 yards and able to move the sticks. So Golden Bears just going straight forward on the first 2 carries, with one there by Hine and one by Roffler. And Bishop Garrigan's on the plus side of the field. They're on the Harris Lake Park 37-yard line. Justin Bauer runs into formation for the Golden Bears. He'll be out to the right with Berkey slot right. Hovey, the tight end, is flexed out to the left. Hine in the gun. Roffler on his left hip. Hines back to throw. He's being pressured to his right. He heads back to the middle. He's hit. Ball stripped out, and Harris Lake Park got on top of it. A big early turnover for Bishop Garrigan as Ethan Nelson strip-sacked Hine, and I believe that was Ryan Bensley getting on top of it. So Golden Bears get it set up with great field position, and it's an early turnover. And you have to wonder if the slippery ball may have factored in there. Hine started to his right, tried to reverse field, and he ended up getting just chopped down on. It was Nelson chopping down on top of that ball, knocking it loose. And Harris Lake Park has great field position at the 36-yard line. Veteran play from the senior nose guard, Ethan Nelson. Ahrenstorff in the gun, Hemphill in the backfield, the gives to Hemphill. He's through the left side, he's across the 30, he's dragging defenders down to the 28-yard line. Hemphill with a really good initial burst that time. He gains about 8 yards. Well, Harris Lake Park, again, missing Tice Gunderson. Not only their leading passer, but also their leading rusher. They're an offense that's really based around the quarterback run as much as it is the quarterback pass, and that is an element that changes a little bit here tonight as Ahrenstorff hands it off. Hemphill's running right, jump cut, he gets up the middle for the first down, he's inside the 20, and he's down to the 18-yard line. First down, Harris Lake Park. Some nice shifty running by Hemphill to start the game, and the Wolves are inside the Red Power red zone. Your local Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwith, West Bend, and Humboldt. So first time either team's been in the red zone tonight. 8:38 and ticking on the clock. 2 receivers on each side of the formation. Hemphill motions to the left. Ahrenstorff takes the snap. It's a screen out to the left side, caught by Nick Sage. Sage across the 10. He's down to about the 6-yard line, and he's got the first down. That is just a quick pitch and catch to the left. And Sage making the grab. And Harris Lake Park is knocking on the door of the goal line here. They'll have first and goal, mark it at the 6-yard line. In the gun again, Ahrenstorff. He'll motion Meyer across the formation. It's a little wide receiver screen out to the right. It's dropped, and it's incomplete. They're going to say that was a forward pass. That was close to a lateral as they were trying to screen it out to Bensley out to the right and get a couple blockers in front of him and see if he could run it in for the score. But, again, slippery ball. Throw a little bit off to the side of him, and he could not secure it. So it'll be second down. Goal to go from the 6-yard line. Wolves threatening from inside the Red Power red zone. Hemphill motioning again. They love to use motion. Snap to Ahrenstorff. Flips it left to Hemphill. Hemphill's to the 5. He's into the end zone, and there's a touchdown. Wolves take the early 6-0 lead. They got Hemphill out in space that time. He made one man miss, and he was able to waltz in for the score. So it's Harris Lake Park 6, Bishop Garrigan nothing. And the Wolves strike first coming off that Garrett Hine turnover on the fumble. That is a 37-yard drive out of Harris Lake Park, and they will try to tack on the extra point. August Jones, a very reliable kicker. 13 of 13 this season on PATs, getting set to kick it through the uprights. Snap is good, ball down, kick on the way, and the kick is up, and it is no good. So 6-0 Harris Lake Park. First miss on an extra point by August Jones as we'll take a timeout, and Bishop Garrigan will get the ball back coming up next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. It is Harris Lake Park 6, Bishop Garrigan nothing as we come back on Home Country Radio KLGZ. Bishop Garrigan being hurt by an early turnover, and Harris Lake Park able to march down and scored for the touchdown. As getting set to kick off, it'll be Ethan Nelson, number 66. Nelson at the 30-yard line, runs up and squibs it. It's at the 35-yard line, it's loose, and Bishop Garrigan's able to dive on top of it. Oh, a squib kick that time. Very dangerous in the rain down the middle, and that was kind of half squib kick, half onside kick, but Bishop Garrigan is able to recover at the 36, and the Golden Bears will start off here of possession. And it'll be first down and 10. They'll officially spot it at the 37-yard line. As Golden Bears will have Hine come out with Berkey slot to the right. Roethler's in the backfield joining Hine. Across the formation comes Berkey. It's a handoff as Hine had it the whole time. He kept it and went up to the middle. That had me fooled as they used some motion there from Cal Berkey coming across, but it's just Hine carrying it through the middle. Not a whole lot doing there as he gets about 2 yards. And it'll set up second down, about 8 yards to go from the 38-yard line. 7:52 on the clock. 6-0 Harris Lake Park, that is, over Bishop Garrigan here on homecoming night for the Golden Bears. Bishop Garrigan still looking for that first offensive touchdown in the past 6 quarters. Colash into the game. He'll be out to the left. Hine looking towards his sideline for signals. Berkey's on his left hip. Hine takes the snap. Quarterback run right through the middle. Hine bursts. He's across the 40-yard line down to the Harris Lake Park 38. And that'll set up third down and manageable here. About 4 yards to gain for Hine. Boy, Garrigan has liked that quarterback draw early on here. They've used it a couple times so far and been able to gain some decent chunks, about 4 or 5 yards per carry on that. So third down, make it 3 from the 37-yard line. 7 minutes on the clock. Bowers out to the right. Hine's going to be underneath center with his 2 running backs right behind him, and Hovey on the left side of the line. Hine turns, he'll give to Berkey. Berkey looking for space. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage as he falls forward. He may have gained 1 there, but not a whole lot, and not enough for the first down. So 35-yard line will be the line of scrimmage. Fourth down, make it about 1 yard to go as Caleb Hemphill made the tackle for Harris Lake Park. And Golden Bears are staying out on the field here on offense. Looks like they may want to go for it. The play clock's ticking down to about 12 seconds, and if Bishop Garrigan doesn't get this play in quickly here, they're going to have to take a timeout. Down to 8 seconds, they run up to the line of scrimmage. 4 seconds, Hine gets underneath center. They'll get the play off. Hine sneaks up the middle. He dives forward, and he has the first down by plenty. That was a great push up front by the Bishop Garrigan offensive line. Starting off with Nate Bronk right in the middle there for the Golden Bears. You got Drew Casey pushing up front as well. And boy, they just blew Harris Lake Park off the line. And Hine gained about 3 or 4 yards on that quarterback sneak. Usually you're only getting 1 there, and 1 is all you need when you're going to the quarterback sneak. But Hine able to come through there and continue to move the sticks as the rain picking up just a little bit. Mist still swirling up in those stadium lights. This was not in the forecast for tonight. The rain was supposed to be gone by this point as we had it this morning. But field definitely a little mushy tonight. Hovey goes out to the right. Grandjeanette to the left, and we'll have a whistle here, and it's going to be timeout Bishop Garrigan. We'll take a timeout back in 60 seconds on Home Country Radio. Coming back here to Bishop Garrigan High School on Home Country Radio as it's Terrace Lake Park 6, Bishop Garrigan nothing. 5:33 on the clock right now as the Golden Bears have first down and 10 yards to go as Hine is trying to escape, and he will only get back to the line of scrimmage. Garrett Hine cannot get out of a tackle that time of Ryan Bensley, and that will set up second down and about 10 yards to go. Boy, Bishop Garrigan, they've been so heavily reliant on the quarterback running game so far in this one tonight. I believe that's Hine's 4th carry already. And he is easily outpacing Roffler and Berkey. We've seen 1 carry from Roffler, I believe 2 carries from Berkey so far in the first quarter, but Hine already picking up his 4th carry here as it's second down, make it 11 to go from the 34-yard line. Shotgun for Hine. 1 receiver on each side of the formation as Berkey motions. Hine fakes to him. He'll throw down the middle looking for Hovey. He overshot him, and it's incomplete, but a flag flies in the secondary. It was Hovey being covered by Ahrenstorff, and Ahrenstorff almost played the role of receiver that time to make the catch, but we'll see if this is some sort of defensive foul here against Terrace Lake Park. Hine taking a deep shot there, overshot him a little bit. Golden Bears did hit on a couple deep shots last week, but this is going to be pass interference on the defense. So that is an automatic first down for the Golden Bears. They will take the big plays any way they can get them. 4:51 on the clock in the first quarter. First down and 10 now for the Golden Bears as they'll mark it down inside the 20-yard line. Make it the 19.5 as Bishop Garrigan's inside the Red Power red zone. Your local Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwith, West Bend, and Humboldt. Justin Bauer in the game at wide receiver. He's out to the left. Hine will come underneath center in the I formation. Harris Lake Park has all the defenders crowded up the line of scrimmage. Hine reading. Roffler will get the carry, and he'll burst forward to the 15-yard line. And there's that midline read Bishop Garrigan likes to do so much. That'll gain about 4 yards there, and that was something that Coach Gunderson for Harris Lake Park really referenced in the pregame show. He said, you know, you've got to really be careful on that read because if you're not, Hine's going to be escaping out to the right. He's a mobile quarterback, and if he gets on the edge, it's going to be trouble for the defense. So Roffler officially gains 5 on that one. Second down and 5. Hine, 2 receivers to the right. He turns and gives to Berkey. Berkey gets off the initial contact. He squeezes forward down inside the 15-yard line. He made a hard hit there with, I believe, Landon Whitrock on the defense, and he bounced off him and kept moving forward until Bensley was able to bring him down. Or I believe it was Hemphill actually bringing him down. So it should have been a 0-yard game, but got a couple extra yards out of it, setting up third down and 3. Another I formation for Bishop Garrigan. Hine from the 13-yard line takes the snap, turns around and hands to Berkey. Berkey heading left. He's inside the 10. Cuts back. Laundering on the field. Berkey's out of bounds at the 1-yard line. But this one came in from behind the play, and we'll see if this one may be coming back. That's in the area where a holding is usually called. And it is indeed going to be a holding against Bishop Garrigan. So instead of first down and goal from the 1-yard line, Bishop Garrigan is going to have third and long after that holding penalty from behind the play. And this is going to back them all the way outside of the red zone. Boy, that's a penalty you cannot have on third down and short. So 3rd and 13. Ball is going to be spotted all the way back at the 24-yard line. And definitely something to watch as the night goes on is going to be the quarterback-center exchange. The rain has definitely picked up a little bit here. It's kind of in between a light rain and a mist, but that ball is going to get very slippery as the night goes on, especially if Garrigan continues to do reads. We'll see how the handle goes as Hine rolls right. Hine looking down the field. He'll pull it and try to run. He's across the 20, and he's out of bounds around the 19-yard line, but not nearly enough for a first down. And Golden Bears know they're in a couple down territory as far as trying to get the 4th down here, so they will go for it, and it'll be 4th and about 12. Not a ton of plays in the playbook for 4th and 12, but you try to open it up as much as you can and see if you can just catch the defense with a missed assignment or out of position. 3:28 on the clock in the first quarter. Harris Lake Park 6, Bishop Garrigan nothing. Hovey comes to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Here's Hine from the shotgun. Snap is good. Hine will run up the middle, and he's got space. He's to the 15. He bounces off a tackle to the 10, trying to drive forward. He's right at the sticks, and it depends on the spot. Garrett Hine just maneuvering for the defense, and I think they're going to give it to him. The chain gang has not moved yet, but It looked like he needed the 9, and it looked like he got exactly to the 9. Good change of direction by Hying, and yes, that is a first down. Had 2 offensive linemen running out in front of him, lead blocking, and 1 defender, I believe that was Hemphill, kind of shot through one of the blocks, but Hying just swerved around him, got inside the 10-yard line, and Bishop Garrigan converts on a 4th and 12, and what a welcome sign for the Golden Bears. They did not convert on any 4th downs last season. Well, they measured it. They're measuring it right now on the field, and they're going to say first down Bishop Garrigan. The referee initially signaled first down, and then they said, no, never mind, let's measure it, but then they still say first down, so first down Bishop Garrigan from the 9-yard line. 4th down conversion, a big improvement from last week. That is something Golden Bears need here tonight. Ticking down towards 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Hying underneath center, turns around and hands it off to Berkey, runs right for the middle, lowers the shoulder into Meyer, and he'll gain a couple yards. Big collision there between Devin Meyer and Cal Berkey as he's down to the 7-yard line, setting up 2nd down and goal. This has been a nice, long, deliberate drive for Bishop Garrigan, just like they like it. And they'll try to force Harris Lake Park to be on the field for a long time tonight. Many of the key players for this Wolf team go both ways. I formation again from the 7-yard line. Hying turns around and hands to Roffler. Roffler behind the right guard. Burst at the last minute and he's through for a touchdown. Boy, that looked like Roffler was stopped, but he kept the legs churning, dove at the last minute, full extension into the end zone, and Bishop Garrigan has knotted this one up at 6. And for the first time since the first half of the game against West Bend Mallard, Bishop Garrigan has found the end zone, and that 6-quarter scoreless drought is over. And now Bishop Garrigan will try to get their first lead since 12-6 against West Bend Mallard in that game, and they can do it with a 2-point conversion with 2:28 on the clock. Grand Jeanette will be wide to the right, Hovey out to the left. Golden Bears have struggled on 2-point conversions. They are 6 of 14 overall in the season, but boy, past couple weeks, they have not been great on that. Hying taking the snap. Hying will run up the middle. Hying looking for the goal line, and he did not get there. The try is no good, and we are tied at 6. We will take a timeout, and we'll come back with the next drive next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. Coming back on Home Country Radio, Bishop Garrigan has tied the game up 6-6 as the Golden Bears score on a Caden Roffler touchdown run from 7 yards out, but they fail on the 2-point conversion. Bishop Garrigan has really struggled on 2-point conversions after they went 5 of 7 in week 1 as Hemphill returns the kick. He's to the 15 outside 20, 25, and a good return from Hemphill out to the 27-yard line. Decent starting field position for Harris Lake Park, and boy, you just hold your breath every time Hemphill gets the ball in his hands. He is just an explosive runner, great acceleration, and he returns the kick to the 27. But Golden Bears, since that 5 of 7 performance on 2-point conversions in week 1, they went 0 of 2 against North Iowa, and then 1 of 5 against West Bend Mallard. Obviously, no 2-point conversion attempts last week out of the Golden Bears, as Harris Lake Park will come back out and try to respond to that early touchdown from Bishop Garrigan. 6-6 tie. It's been a receiving touchdown by Hemphill and a rushing touchdown by Roffler, the 2 scores tonight. Aaron Stroff is trapped in the backfield, and he has his legs pulled out. Garrett Hying in on defense, and that is a big loss. Back down to the 22-yard line. Subtract 5 on that play. It looked like there was a little bit of confusion between Ahrensdorf and Hemphill. Someone missed a blocking assignment on Hying as well, and then it was a free run, Hying to Ahrensdorf, and Hying just took his feet out from underneath him on this slippery, wet grass. Second down, 15 yards to go. A pitch out into the flat to Hemphill. He's to the 25. He runs into a convoy, and Sam Plath drives him backwards with the help of Garrett Hying and Cal Berkey. As that one will gain a couple of yards, but again, Harris Lake Park is behind the sticks here. Third down and 12 as they only got 3 on that one. But the Wolves so far tonight, they've really run a different variation on pretty much the same play. It's Hemphill will be at one of the wide receiver positions or the slot position. He'll motion, or if he doesn't motion, he'll just hang out in the flat, and Ahrensdorf will try to pitch it out to him. Besides that, it'll just be a quarterback run as Ahrensdorf gets the snap. He'll fire to the left. It's high and it's incomplete. Sailed it over the intended receiver, Carter Hibma. And Harris Lake Park, after the Bishop Garrigan touchdown, goes 3 and out. And now a chance for the Golden Bears to start to compile a little momentum here as Cal Berkey and Jack Grangenet will go back to receive the punt. But if you're the Garrigan defense, if you can just stay in position, know that a lot of the passing attack tonight with Tice Gunderson out is just going to be pitches out to the flat where you can just essentially do a long handoff to the wide receivers if you're Harris Lake Park. If you get that defended, you're going to be in a really good spot for tonight's game. So here comes the punt. Loinstra to punt it away, and it'll be a wobbling kick to the near side. Fair catch, Grangenet, and he dives on top of it at the 22-yard line. You don't see Jack Grangenet take a whole lot of fair catches. Even if a guy is bearing right down on top of him, he will usually try to return it, but even he knew that it was a good idea to call a fair catch there, even as an aggressive returner. So he will take the ball at the 23-yard line, and Bishop Garrigan will have 1st and 10 with 1:36 on the clock here in quarter number 1. 6-6 tie, Harris Lake Park, Bishop Garrigan. Golden Bears, in their 2 drives, have had a turnover around midfield, and then last drive marched it down for a Roffler touchdown. Grangenet will be wide to the right. Benji Trainer into the game. He'll be out to the left for the Golden Bears. Hying in the pistol. He'll take the snap, he'll turn and give to Berkey. Berkey has space on the right side, and he's across the 30, 35-40, one man to beat, and he is ripped down inside the 40-yard line. A flag comes in on the tackle. A tackle is made by Devin Meyer, but I wonder if he maybe got Berkey up around the face mask that time. That looks to be the indication from the referees here. And if that is, that'll make a big play even bigger. And that is indeed personal foul, face mask against Harris Lake Park. Devin Meyer getting called on that one. The junior's been a tackling machine for the Wolves this season, but this will march Bishop Garrigan inside the Red Power red zone. Ball spotted at the 17-yard line. So how about that? You flip the field. You start at the 23-yard line. You run one play, and then you're at your opponent's 17-yard line. Bishop Garrigan will take that any day of the week. And that is refreshing to see. They really struggled to get Berkey in space last week and generate any explosive plays in the running game. 6-6 tie, Hying hands off to Berkey again, trying to go through the middle, and he's upended by Meyer inside the 15-yard line as he's down to the 13. Cal Berkey gaining 4 yards on that carry. So 2nd down, 6 yards to go. We're down to 1:13 in the quarter here from Bishop Garrigan High School. Rain continuing to fall. It's a cold night. People are bundled up here. Homecoming weekend starting off with a little rain here at Bishop Garrigan. As it'll be 2nd down and 6 to go from the 13-yard line. Bishop Garrigan last week against Newell Fonda had 30 carries for just 49 yards. That's a 1.6 average, but they're already close to exceeding that tonight. Hying will keep it himself. He's got pressure, and he's ripped down. Garrett Hying did not feel the pressure coming from in front of him, as that is Mikkel Loinstra making the sack. Hying was going to roll out towards his left, was looking away from Loinstra, and Loinstra just pancaked him back at the 21-yard line. So a sack for Harris Lake Park, and for the 2nd drive in a row, Bishop Garrigan is going to have 3rd and 14 from just outside of the red zone. Well, that's something Coach Gunderson will be very happy to see if you're Harris Lake Park. A good pass rush coming in to get Hying, and not let him escape from that one. Clock is going to tick down here to the final seconds of the quarter, and Bishop Garrigan will be content to let this move into the 2nd quarter. So with that, we will take a timeout and bring the 2nd quarter your way next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. And this will set up 3rd down and 14 as we begin the second quarter. Bishop Garrigan has the ball at the Harris Lake Park 21-yard line here on Home Country Radio. 6-6 tie. Harris Lake Park scored the first touchdown of the game. Bishop Garrigan answered back on their next drive. And now Bishop Garrigan will try to take their first lead of the evening. But again, they are behind the sticks here on 3rd down. 3rd and 14. Golden Bears really struggling on 3rd and 4th downs last week, but so far in this one, they have gotten the job done. Hying under center, fakes the pitch. It's an inside handoff, and that one's going nowhere. Cal Berkey is wrapped up, and he'll lose a yard. They will unpile as that is Nick Sage making the tackle, Harris Lake Park's leading tackler this season. Boy, Garrigan tried to throw a little razzle-dazzle at the defense. They faked the pitch left to Roffler, and Hying did the quick inside handoff to Cal Berkey, but that is a disciplined Harris Lake Park defense. They were not fooled for a second, and Nick Sage, that is a senior on the defense making the tackle. So 4th down, 15 yards to go, and just like I said last 4th down, I'll say it again, not a whole lot of plays for 4th and 15. But we'll see what Garrigan tries to do here. Berkey is slot to the right, Grangenet wide to the right. Roffler's in the backfield of Hying. Shotgun snap, 2-man rush. Hying flips it right, and that is incomplete. He was looking for Hovey out in the flat, but he sailed it over his head as Loinster was out there in coverage. Even if that throw was brought down a little bit into the chest of Hovey, he was not going to be able to run for the first down. He had the sideline as a defender. He had his man right behind him as a defender. And Bishop Garrigan will turn it over on 4th down. That's another one where it looked like wet ball may have had an impact there. Ball kind of sailed out of Hying's hand, and when the quarterbacks try to throw tonight, the ball is going to be wet, and it's going to be hard to get a grip. Hand off to Hemphill, runs right. Bronk's got him. He's out of a tackle, spins away from Bronk, and then he's swarmed at the line of scrimmage. He'll gain maybe 1 yard. Hemphill turned what would have been a loss of maybe 1 or 2 into a gain of 1 or 2, as Caden Roffler was in there on the tackle. Caleb Borman as well in the area. And he got 2 out of it, so he's out to the 24-yard line for Harris Lake Park. But nice job there by Nate Bronk, breaking through the initial line of scrimmage, forced Hemphill to dance around and spin, and he couldn't get to the edge. Hemphill motions right to left across the formation, and it's a handoff. Hemphill trying to cut it back inside, falls forward as he's across the 25, and this will set up 3rd down and medium. Caden Roffler nearby for Bishop Garrigan once again. Boy, Golden Bear linebackers, we give Roffler and Hying a lot of love on offense, and, you know, for the right reasons, they're obviously huge pieces, but boy, on defense, they are so active as linebackers, always flowing to the ball. They always seem to be in the same area where the play is happening. And now it's 3rd down and 6, as we're down to about 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Ball from the 27-yard line. Meyer motions across the formation, rolling right. Aaron Storff, he's looking to unload it deep down the sideline. Hemphill juggles it, and he made the catch. He bobbled it, and he caught it, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. He was matched up one-on-one with Justin Bauer, who had him absolutely blanketed. Hemphill bobbled it, he juggled it, and he somehow pulled it in to make it 12-6. That is an incredible touchdown pass. Aaron Storff to Hemphill, and it is 12-6 Harris Lake Park. That one going for 63 yards. And now Harris Lake Park up 12-6. We'll see if they elect to go for 2 or if they kick it here. They tried to kick the extra point their last time, but they missed it in these bad conditions, and now it looks like they'll go for 2 after missing the extra point last time. The wind is kind of swirling sideways across the field here. It'll be a 2-point conversion attempt. Aaron Storff has the empty backfield. Hemphill motions across the formation. Snap to Aaron Storff, and a flag flies here at the line of scrimmage. This should be against the offense here, as they will back it up for a false start penalty. So this 2-point conversion just became substantially more difficult for the Wolves. But 12-6 Harris Lake Park. Aaron Storff, again, you just think of him as a replacement quarterback, a backup quarterback, and all night it's just been throwing out to the flat, just short swing passes to the running back, wide receiver screens, that sort of thing. But he took advantage of the deep shot, and I'll tell you what, for someone who's not the starting quarterback, that was a good-looking throw, especially in the mist and the rain with the wet ball that we have tonight. Meyer motioning left to right. Shotgun for Aaron Storff. Rolls out to the right. Flips it back across the field into the end zone. It's tipped and it's incomplete. He was looking for Meyer. Tried to cross up the defense by rolling right and throwing left, but it's incomplete. It's 12-6 Harris Lake Park, as we'll take a timeout and bring you the rest of the second quarter next on Home Country Radio. Continuing on with the second quarter, as right now 9:54 on the clock. Harris Lake Park takes a 12-6 lead over Bishop Garrigan, and it was a great touchdown pass. Lucas Ahrenstorff, 63 yards to Caleb Hemphill, their second touchdown connection of the night. And the Wolves go up 12-6, so the teams have traded touchdowns early on here. And Ahrenstorff, who again, replacing the normal starting quarterback, Tice Gunderson. Gunderson, a senior who has been a very solid starter for Harris Lake Park over the past couple of seasons, missing tonight, but Ahrenstorff starting for the second time this season as the kickoff is to the far side. Grand Jeanette touches it. It'll roll into the end zone, and Bishop Garrigan will have it coming off of the touchback. But the very first game of the season for Harris Lake Park, Gunderson was also injured for that one, and Ahrenstorff got the start. And boy, that was a tough way to start the season against the current #1 team in Class 8 player, Remsen St. Mary's. And Harris Lake Park lost that game 42-7, but Remsen St. Mary's is definitely the real deal this year. They've been undefeated and they've earned that #1 ranking, but since that time, the Wolves have compiled 3 wins in a row. They got Gunderson back after that opening game loss, but they're without him here tonight, but still holding a 12-6 lead. Rain still falling. I formation for Garrett Hine as he's underneath center. Hine will read, and he'll give to the fullback, Roffler. Roffler across the line of scrimmage. She's to the 20-yard line, and he is dragged down from behind by Hibma. Ethan Nelson in the zip code as well for Harris Lake Park. And Roffler able to get a good solid 6 out of that. You know, we haven't seen a ton of carries from Caden Roffler yet tonight, but he is stretching those carries out to the max. That one looked like it might go for 2 yards at the best, but got 6 yards out of it. Roffler's touchdown run earlier was a 7-yard run where, again, looked like he was not going to get to the end zone but was able to fight for those last couple extra yards. This time it'll be a handoff to Berkey. Tries to run behind the right guard, but he is tripped right around the ankles as it was Ethan Nelson in there. Nelson in the area making the tackle as Berkey is stopped 4 yards short of the first down, 3rd down and 4. And the referees will briefly blow the whistle here and wipe down the football. I think that's going to be a common theme here tonight as the mist is just blowing around the field. And they'll call for a reset of the play clock of 9:07 on the clock. They've moved the ball up a little bit, so Bishop Garrigan's going to have a 3rd down and 2 from the 28-yard line. Line to gain is the 30. Bowers to the right. Hovey, the tight end, on the left side of the line. Garrigan's got Nemmers on the line right now as well. It's a pitch to the left to Berkey. Berkey's running wide. Berkey cuts it back inside, and he has the first down. He's just shy of the 30-yard line as he's wrestled out of bounds along the Wolf sideline on the far side of the field. Devin Meyer making the tackle, but not before Berkey has the first down. And those pitch plays are going to be something to watch tonight from both teams. Again, anytime you're putting the ball in the air tonight, whether it's by pass or just by a pitch out to the left like Bishop Garrigan just did there with Berkey, it is just going to be a question of how secure is the ball, and you've got to be very careful about that tonight if you're Bishop Garrigan. If you're Cal Berkey, make sure you secure it before you run, just as he did right there. And he's able to move the sticks for Bishop Garrigan. Golden Bears right now, they have Fogarty in as the extra offensive lineman. Power formation. Hovey's on the line as well for the tight end. And Hine reads and he'll keep it. He tries to run left. He squeezes forward and he's tackled by the ankles. Ryan Bensley prevented a much bigger run there from Hine as he tried to hit a hole on the left side of that jumbo package offensive line. Trying to run behind Drew Fogarty that time, and Hine gains about 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 from the 32-yard line. 12-6 Harris Lake Park. As Benji Trainer will check in. Roffler will head to the bench here and get a quick break for Bishop Garrigan as Trainer lines up at the fullback spot. Golden Bears will go with that same power formation once again. This time it'll be a pitch to the right to Berkey. He's across the 30 to the 35, tiptoeing the sideline, and he is forced to the boundary by Ahrenstorff. Berkey got it to the 36-yard line, and Golden Bears, again, 3rd down and manageable, make it 3rd and 1. So Bishop Garrigan getting ahead of the sticks, which is something that didn't necessarily happen the first couple of drives. They got themselves in 3rd down and long situations. But here it's 3rd and 1 as Roffler comes back into the ball game. And Bishop Garrigan, once again, they'll go with the 4 offensive linemen plus the tight end. The 2 running backs, Roffler and Berkey, standing directly behind Hine, who's underneath center. All 8 Harris Lake Park players are crowded at the line of scrimmage. It's a sneak. Hine over the right side of the line, and he has the first down. Once again, Bishop Garrigan's offensive line is just moving Harris Lake Park off the ball. That was the same situation if the quarterback sneak early in this game. Second time tonight, Bishop Garrigan's done the quarterback sneak, and second time tonight, Bishop Garrigan's offensive line has definitively won that battle. So move the sticks, set up first down and 10 from midfield, as Benji Trainer will run back into the game. And Golden Bears are just going to keep pounding away. They've got the 4 offensive linemen plus Hovey on the right side of the line again. And the 2 running backs. They're going to play power football this drive. Hine turns around and hands off to Berkey. He's across the left side and he falls forward for a couple. Bensley got him around the knees and Berkey will gain 2 yards. And this is the kind of game it's going to be tonight. Just chipping away, pounding away, and just trying to throw punch after punch and see if you can tire out Harris Lake Park with long, exhausting drives. It's just going to be Bishop Garrigan getting those small chunks up and down the field as they gain 2 there. Second down and 8, ball spotted at the 37 as we're down to 7 minutes to go in the half. Hine is underneath center. He's back to throw. He's lobbing it down the middle to Hovey, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Took a shot to Hovey earlier in the game, and that time Hovey just heading straight down the middle of the field. But Harris Lake Park did a nice job staying in coverage. Ahrensdorf has kind of been the deep man on defense, the safety, if you will. And throwing out of that power formation did not have the Wolves fooled. They were ready for it. So third down and 8 from the 37-yard line. 6:51 to go until halftime. Benji Trainer runs in once again. He's getting a lot of action on offense tonight. And once again, Golden Bears will use the same formation here for about the 5th time in a row. They found something they like, and they're just going to keep rolling with it on 3rd and 8. Hine straight drop back to throw. Here comes the blitz, and Hine is sacked. Bensley got in there. Hine tried to step forward past the pass rush, but his feet came out from underneath him, and Bensley comes from the left side and sacks Hine. Second time, actually make that 3rd time tonight, Hine's gone down with a sack, and Bishop Garrigan will have to punt here. They are all the way back at their own 35-yard line. That's one. You've got to get the ball out super quickly for Bishop Garrigan. Harris Lake Park bringing one more guy than you can block. So a free runner's coming at Garrett Hine, and he could not get out of there. Hemphill's going back deep to receive as Logan Nemers is in to punt for the first time tonight. Snap is right into his chest, and he'll kick a spiraling line drive back towards the 10. Hemphill catches at the 9, reverses field. He's across the 15, steps out of a tackle, 20. There's laundry on the field as Hemphill's to the 21-yard line. And those are almost always against the returning team, so we'll see what the call is here. Nemers kicked a beautiful spiral down the field. I mean, that looked like a Tom Brady pass, just spiraling perfectly down to Hemphill at the 9-yard line, coming off the foot of Logan Nemers. And we'll see what the call is here with the flag on the field. And Harris Lake Park already backing up here, so this is going to be a foul on the receiving team as expected. And they will spot Harris Lake Park back at the 12-yard line. So 12-6 Harris Lake Park, 6 minutes to go in the half. And it'll be a pitch. Hemphill's running to the right. Bronk has him by the jersey, and he's brought down at the 14-yard line. He slipped away from Bronk there briefly, but it looks like that's Caden Roffler making the tackle. And once again, that's the second time tonight where Bronk has slowed down Hemphill long enough for someone else to come in to make the tackle. And that may not show the box score for Bronk just as far as total tackles piled up, but that's still an important play in the game as Harris Lake Park tries to get Hemphill out in space. Hemphill takes another handoff. He's running off the right guard, cuts it back inside 20. He's across the 25. He's pushing Garrigan defenders forward, and he's out to the 26-yard line. 3 Golden Bears in the area with Hovey as well as Berkey, and then Roffler came in from behind to try to finish the play off, but I think Roffler ended up pushing Hemphill forward an extra 3 or 4 yards because he tried to tackle him from behind and kind of drove him across the 26 that time. So first down and 10 for Harris Lake Park. And it has been a simple game plan tonight. Just get Hemphill in space as much as possible. You know, run some pitches, run some screens, run some quick swing passes out in the flat, have Hemphill sweep to the outside. And that has been the key tonight. This time it's a keeper for Ahrensdorf. Ahrensdorf looking for blockers. Hine causes him to reverse, and Hine drags him down at the 24-yard line. Loss of 2. They were trying to pull the offensive lineman, Mikkel Lunstra, out in front of Ahrensdorf, but Hein with great pursuit that time. Garrigan set the edge. They wouldn't let Ahrensdorf turn the corner along the sideline, and Hein forced that one back inside for a loss of 1 yard. So down to 4:33 on the clock. Empty formation, 2 receivers on both sides as Ahrensdorf will pull it down, trying to run for the middle. Not a lot of space, and Bronk dives on his back. Ahrensdorf squeezed past the initial line of scrimmage. I think he thought the middle of the field was going to be wide open that time, but Nate Bronk did a nice job just occupying the blockers up front, then shedding off them at the last minute and diving on the back of Ahrensdorf for a gain of just 1 yard. Not a whole lot going through the middle for Harris Lake Park. They've tried to do the quarterback draw a couple times tonight, but Garrigan just such a disciplined defensive line ready for it. And we're going to have a timeout called by Harris Lake Park before this 3rd down and 10. We'll take a quick timeout as well as we come back in 60 seconds on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. .357 to go in the first half. Harris Lake Park 12, Bishop Garrigan 6 as the Golden Bears have Hovey and Fogarty on the ends of the lines. Meyer motions across the formation for Harris Lake Park. Ahrensdorf back to throw. He'll take another deep shot down the sideline. Meyer's wide open and he makes the catch. He's the 20 out of a tackle 15, and Bauer finally forces him out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Second time tonight, a man has come wide open, and Ahrensdorf underthrew it a little bit. Meyer had to stop and wait for it, but he was so wide open, he was able to do that and bring it in. Harris Lake Park is inside the red power red zone, and Ahrensdorf is looking like a seasoned vet at the quarterback position. Had to fill in tonight. Gunderson was a game-time decision, and he is out for the game, but in spite of the starting quarterback being missing, Ahrensdorf has stepped in, and he has not missed a beat. Hitting 2 deep shots tonight, and he has Harris Lake Park on the doorstep. 1st and 10, and trying to get around the edge is Hemphill, and he's knocked down. Hovey had the initial contact. Hein coming in to clean it up from the linebacker position, and that will gain no yards. So 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line, down to 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Harris Lake Park 12, Bishop Garrigan 6. Rain has lightened up a little bit, but there's just been a mist falling throughout the night. The field is very damp at this point. We haven't really seen the turf monster get anyone yet, though. 1 tight end on each side of the line for Harris Lake Park, and it'll be a fake reverse. Ahrensdorf is going to keep it to the right. He's forced to the boundary, and he's knocked out of bounds. There is a flag right at the line of scrimmage. They faked the reverse to Hemphill, who was coming from right to left across the formation. Ahrensdorf kept it and ran to the right, but that is going to be irrelevant as it'll be a penalty against Harris Lake Park. They're going to ding him there for holding, and they will back them up outside of the red power red zone. So I haven't seen a lot of penalties tonight. We'll check that. They'll still be in the red zone. They'll spawn it at the 20-yard line. So still at the edge of the red zone, but now 2nd down and goal from the 20-yard line, a 3:01 on the clock. Hemphill will be on the right side. Meyer out to the left. Empty backfield for Ahrensdorf. Ahrensdorf drifts to the right. He'll unload into the end zone looking for Hemphill. Bodies crash to the ground and it's incomplete. Some inadvertent contact down there. Cal Berkey in coverage and Caleb Hemphill both fell down, and the ball fluttered incomplete in the end zone. So 3rd and goal from the 20-yard line. 2:55 to go in the first half, and Harris Lake Park trying to make it a 2-possession game. I'd have to imagine Coach Gunderson will probably draw something pretty similar to that play up. Just see if you can get a shot into the end zone. Even if you can get maybe 15 yards here and set up 4th and 5 from the 5-yard line, you'd take that if you're the Wolves. Meyer motions out to the right. Ahrensdorf drifting right again. Some good push from the line. Ahrensdorf firing into the end zone. It's juggled, and it's caught! Another unbelievable catch by Caleb Hemphill. He was blanketed in coverage. Again, Bauer was over there, but Hemphill tipped it to himself, caught it, and the Wolves go up 18-6. Boy, that is one athletic young player, Caleb Hemphill, with his third touchdown of the night. He's got the hat trick, and the first half isn't even over yet. Three touchdowns all through the air. Ahrensdorf, three passing touchdowns, all three going to Hemphill, and now it's going to be a 2-point conversion attempt for the Wolves. Three players in a bunch to the right. Ahrensdorf looking to throw. Guns it over the middle, but he fires it incomplete, and the score will stay 18-6 with 2:48 left on the clock. Well, if the score, will take another quick timeout, and Bishop Garrigan's possession is coming up next on Home Country Radio. As you come back, Bishop Garrigan will get the ball on the 15-yard line of 2:48 to go. Harris Lake Park leading 18-6 after yet another Ahrensdorf touchdown pass to Hemphill. And the Golden Bears do have 2 timeouts. Plenty of time, 2:48 on the clock, but they need to get something going here before halftime. Harris Lake Park has moved up and down the field pretty rapidly for the most part. They've hit a couple big chunk plays with Ahrensdorf, hitting a few deep shots, and now Bishop Garrigan will have Berkey in the slot to the left side. Hovey, the tight end, is flexed out to the right. Hine will keep it himself, trying to go for the middle, and he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, and he is not going anywhere. Tackle is made by Sage, and Sage read that play the whole way, just able to shed a blocker there, and he was all over Hine for no gain. 2:30 to go until halftime, 18-6, Harris Lake Park. 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line as Golden Bears will bring Bauer into the game. Harris Lake Park has been very disciplined on the defensive line tonight. These are two teams that have really not allowed the rushing quarterbacks playing into tonight's game to make any big plays. On the ground anyways. Bishop Garrigan, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 3-man, make that 4-man rush coming for Harris Lake Park, and Hine escapes at the middle. He's to the 20, into the 25, takes a vicious hit at the 26. Devin Meyer making the tackle, and that was a crunching hit that you could hear all the way up in the press box. Hine will move the sticks as he's a little slow getting up after that, but appears to be fine. And the referees are now congregating near midfield. I wonder if they're talking about that last hit, and they are. They'll throw the late flag, and I think they're going to get Meyer for a high hit that time. That sure looked like helmet to helmet, and that'll be a good break for Bishop Garrigan if that is in fact the call. As it stands right now, Heimer's right at the first down mark, and it is going to be a personal foul against Harris Lake Park, so Bishop Garrigan is going to get a lot of extra yards tacked on here after the good run by Hine. And it'll be pretty close here to midfield by the time they spot that ball. It'll be at the 39-yard line of Harris Lake Park. So first down, 10 yards to go from the 39-yard line, 1:57 to go. And Bishop Garrigan Now plenty of time to score here before halftime. Again, still 2 timeouts. They'll wind the clock here. And Golden Bears in a huddle, not in too much of a rush here to get up to the line of scrimmage. Grand Jeanette will run into the play. And Grand Jeanette will come out to the right. Berkey will be slot right, and Hovey wide to the left for Bishop Garrigan. In the shotgun is Hine. He's got Roffler on the left hip. The Wolves will rush 4. And Hine will step away from the rush. He'll unload it. He may have been past the line of scrimmage as he throws it incomplete to the boundary. No flag on the field. Hine was very, very close that time to getting past the line of scrimmage, but he looked like he stayed maybe just behind it or just even of it. You can be even for the line of scrimmage, you just can't be ahead of it, and he used up just about every possible inch that time to throw it away. So incomplete, 2nd and 10 as the clock's down to 1:29 to go here in the half. Harris Lake Park leading Bishop Garrigan by 12 here. Golden Bears trying to avoid their 3rd loss in a row. Wolves looking for their 4th W in a row. Hine in the shotgun again. Wolves rush 4 again. 2 free runners at Hine. Floats it over the middle and it's picked off. It's Hemphill. He's across the 30. He's got a free run to the end zone. He's the 10-5 touchdown Wolves. Oh, the last thing Bishop Garrigan could afford was that. Hemphill's got his 4th touchdown of the night. 3 receiving touchdowns on offense, and now a pick 6 as he takes it to the house. A 42-yard interception return for a touchdown. Hine was hit as he threw. Harris Lake Park brought a 4-man rush. 2 runners popped free, and Hine was hit as he threw. That was an ill-advised throw that time as Hemphill picked it and took it all the way. 24-6 Wolves here right before halftime. This has been a tough, tough first half for Bishop Garrigan. They're going to have a lot to talk about in the locker room in the second half. And the extra point here will be attempted by August Jones. Missed his first of the year earlier tonight, but he bangs that one through. 25-6 Harris Lake Park. They tack on the extra point. And this has been 19 unanswered points from the Wolves. And that 4-man pass rush is really giving Bishop Garrigan a lot of trouble. And it's not necessarily just a straight 4-man rush. They're running a stunt with Nick Sage, number 30. They're having him start on the right side. He's kind of twisting over to the center. And Golden Bears are just not picking that up. They're letting free runners come to Hine. And that is not the first time tonight that's happened. He's been sacked 3 times tonight. He was hit on that interception. And the offensive line play that Coach Wadley wanted coming into tonight has not been successful enough for Bishop Garrigan. So 25-6 Harris Lake Park. And boy, they've had a good defensive game plan tonight against the Golden Bears. This offense is looking very out of sync. They broke that little drought there as far as the 6 scoreless quarters, but since that time, Harris Lake Park has taken command of this second quarter. So the Wolves will kick it off from right to left. Berkey and Grand Jeanette are back deep, standing just inside the 5-yard line. It'll be Ethan Nelson to kick it away. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll have you make the call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities. That'll come up here in just a little bit. As the kickoff is end over end towards the end zone, and that is in for a touchback. That's a big, strong kickoff there by Ethan Nelson, who's playing on the offensive line and defensive line and adding the special teams phase to his game as well. So Bishop Garrigan will have it at the 15-yard line and a 25-9 advantage for Harris Lake Park. Well, Golden Bears, in spite of that pick 6, they do still have time. You've still got the 2 timeouts. They didn't lose any of those timeouts on the last drive. As Hine will run onto the field here. 1:19 to go on the clock. Hovey will be to the left. He's got Trayton Sink to the right as well as Grand Jeanette, and a flag is going to come in before the play. And Bishop Garrigan's going to lose 5 more yards. Or did they take a timeout? Yeah, I think Garrigan got the timeout there before the delay of game. So they're going to pick up the flag. Bishop Garrigan will have 1 timeout left. And that is certainly not what you wanted. First play coming out of the kickoff. And Golden Bears could not get lined up and get the snap off in time. So with 1:19 on the clock, Bishop Garrigan will have 1 timeout left now. And again, still time to drive down the field, but boy, you've got to find a way to avoid turnovers here. The mist still falling lightly, but about the lightest point it's been tonight. It was falling a lot harder earlier in the first half, but at this point the field is wet. It's going to be wet for the rest of the night. The ball is going to be wet when it's down on the field, so you're still kind of dealing with the turnover threat looming over you, and you've got to have good ball security here. And you've just got to find a way here to pick up the pass rush of Harris Lake Park as well and give Hying a little bit more time, because he's had to pull it and run it pretty quickly tonight, and when he hasn't done that, he's been on his back. So from the 15-yard line, Bishop Garrigan will have first down and 10. Berkey and Grangenet on the right side of the formation. Hovey's out to the left. Roffler in the backfield with Hying in the gun. It's a screen left to Berkey. Berkey trying to step out of a tackle. They've got him by the ankles, and they gang tackle him back at the 14-yard line. Great job by Loinstra, just clinging on for dear life to the ankles of Berkey until he had two reserves coming in, Nick Sage helping make the tackle, as well as Caleb Hemphill, just while Loinstra was there holding him up, waiting for the help to come in. So 2-yard loss, 55 seconds to go in the half, second down and 12. Empty backfield, Harris Lake Park rushes 2. Hying stepping up, flips it over the middle, and that one drops incomplete. Tried to squeeze it in a tight window at the 20-yard line to Cal Berkey, but he was sandwiched in between Loinstra and Hemphill. And now it's third down and 12. 46 seconds to go until halftime. Third down and 12 from the 13-yard line, and now the Golden Bears are going to have to worry a little bit here about giving the ball to the Wolves with good field position. Hovey's out to the right. Golden Bears have 3 receivers to the left and Hying alone in the backfield. The Wolves will rush free, and there's a flag at the snap. Bishop Garrigan is going to be backed up 5 more yards with a false start penalty. And no pun intended with the weather conditions we have here tonight, but when it rains, it pours. And it is pouring here in the first half for the Golden Bears. It's now third down and 17. They'll get right back up to the line, lined up in the same formation. And the Wolves will bring just 2. Hying standing, trying to step up. He has pressure now as he unloads deep down the sideline, and it's intercepted. Intercepted at the 40-yard line by Meyer. Returns to the 30, he's to the 25, and then Hovey bangs him out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Hying threw it up for grabs. He was looking for Trayton Sink, streaking on the go route down the left sideline, but Meyer got underneath it and picked it off. That ball was thrown a little bit too far. And Hovey finally wrestled him out of bounds at the 24-yard line. But now Wolves have a chance to strike again right before halftime, already up 25-6. That is the 3rd turnover of the night for Bishop Garrigan. If you remember back on Bishop Garrigan's first drive, a strip sack occurred, Hying fumbled, and that resulted in a touchdown for Harris Lake Park. It was the pick 6 a couple minutes ago, and now an interception right before halftime. Wolves will have 2 timeouts. They'll have 32 seconds from the 26-yard line. And they'll at least get a couple shots to the end zone in here. Aaron Storff has shown the ability to throw the ball deep, as you've got a stomp and cheer on the field right now. 32 seconds to go. Golden Bears will come out on defense. Down 25-6. This is such a key district game, and things are starting to get a little muddled in the standings here a few weeks into the season, but tiebreakers are going to be big down the stretch, and you don't want that head-to-head loss in tonight's game, that's for sure. It's a flip into the flat to Sage. Sage to the 20. He stood up there, and the referees will blow the play dead. Plaff and Hovey were holding Sage up at the 20-yard line as he gains 4 on that throw out to the left, and Harris Lake Park will take a timeout here. They'll burn one of their 2 timeouts. Sage could not get out of bounds on that play, so 1 timeout left for the Wolves and 22 seconds to go until halftime. But 25-6 is the Wolf lead, and they have played some really good football here the past 3 games, and plus the first half. And tonight, as we mentioned, they lost their season opener against Remsen St. Mary's 42-7, as Remsen St. Mary's has taken the #1 ranking in Class 8 player in both the AP poll and the Radio Iowa poll. But after that Remsen St. Mary's loss, they beat Norfolk Kensett 49-0. They beat Kingsley Pearson, who was a playoff team last year, 40-37. And then they won a shootout against St. Edmund last week, 63-34. So the Wolves have been clicking on all cylinders on offense. They've gotten to the 40-point mark in all 3 games since that season opening loss, and they are certainly on pace to get to that 40-point mark tonight, especially if they can punch one in here before halftime. 2nd and 4, ball at the 20-yard line. Meyer is out to the left, Hemphill to the right. Meyer motions across the formation, heading towards his right. Aaron Storff drifting to the right, fires over the middle, and it's complete. Hemphill at the 5. He's at the goal line, and he's just short as Berkey bangs him down inside the 2-yard line. 15 seconds to go in the first half, and we'll see if the Wolves want a timeout here, and they sure do. Once again, it's Arensdorf to Hemphill. That combination has been as good as gold tonight for the Harris Lake Park Wolves. They'll have the ball spotted at the 1-yard line, and the only thing surprising was that Hemphill couldn't spin out of that one. He has been breaking tackles all night. He's been streaking past the defense when he's gone deep. He's been making picks on defense, and boy, he has been Mr. Do Everything for Harris Lake Park. And now at the 1-yard line, we'll see what the Wolves decide to do. If you risk a running play here and you get tackled and play, it's going to be hard to get another one off before halftime. You'd have to scramble up to the line. So I'd have to imagine they might try to roll Arensdorf out. And if it's wide open, run it in for a touchdown. But otherwise, you're just flipping it into the end zone and seeing if one of your receivers can come down with it. But should be interesting here from the 1-yard line. So the Wolves coming out from the 1-yard line. Arensdorf is by himself in the backfield. Has 3 receivers bunched to the right. Arensdorf back to throw, 13 seconds. Flips it right to Meyer. He's wide open and he'll walk in for the touchdown. 31-6 Harris Lake Park. Meyer got lost in the secondary for Bishop Garrigan. He was wide open in the right flat, and of 10 seconds left, Harris Lake Park has turned a Bishop Garrigan turnover into a touchdown for the 3rd time tonight. 31-6 right before halftime. Jones will try to tack on the extra point, and that is the first non-Hemphill touchdown of the evening for Harris Lake Park. Hemphill came into tonight with 5 touchdowns. He has 3. Actually, he has 4 if you count defense, as the extra point is through. Make it 32-6 as Devin Meyer gets in on the action. That is his 3rd touchdown reception of the year. And Arensdorf has thrown for 4 touchdowns in the first half, so a lot to like if you're the Wolves, up 32-6 right now. Harris Lake Park, of course, was the district champion last season. They had just 1 loss in this district. They had the tiebreaker over GTRA. And right now, undefeated in district play and up 32-6 over Bishop Garrigan with 10 seconds to go until halftime. I get the sense it is not going to be a pleasant halftime locker room for Bishop Garrigan as the adjustments are going to be made. But 32-6 right now as the Golden Bears might as well return this kick. I would imagine when the Golden Bears come back on offense, you're just going to take a knee here and take it to halftime. So if you're Cal Berkey or Jack Ranjanette and you get a crack at it here, why not? Just try to give it a return, see if you can hit a big one here and just get something right before halftime into the end zone. And you'd have to think if you're Harris Lake Park here, you're probably just going to try to squib it here and try to avoid a return. So Meyer has the ball teed up at the 30-yard line. Runs up to the ball, and he'll kick it deep. It's towards the end zone. Berkey back near the goal line, and he makes the catch. His foot was in the end zone, though, and that's a touchback. He was about 1 yard deep into the end zone. You could tell by his body language he was trying to tiptoe the goal line and stay out of the end zone, but that kick was deep enough where it took Berkey into the end zone, and that's a good kickoff by Ethan Nelson. And Bishop Garrigan will have the ball at the 15-yard line. 10 seconds to go until the half. So Golden Bears will set up just to sit on the ball here. Hine will take the snap. He will take a knee, and that will take it to halftime. A huge first half for the Harris Lake Park Wolves. They have made a massive statement on the road tonight, up 32-6, leading the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. Well, we will take a timeout. And we'll have you make the call coming up next, and more halftime coverage as well right here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. As we come back here on Home Country Radio, it's Harris Lake Park leading Bishop Garrigan by a score of 32-6 at halftime. Tyler Lance, if you hear as you try to recap the first half, and boy, it has been a cold night and a misty night here at Bishop Garrigan's homecoming football game, and Harris Lake Park has come in and they have spoiled the party, and early on, looked like these two teams might go back and forth. Harris Lake Park for the first punch in this game as Bishop Garrigan fumbled near midfield on their first drive. The Wolves were able to march down after that and able to score their first touchdown of the game. Bishop Garrigan would answer back on the very next drive. Caden Roffler had a touchdown run to tie the game up at 6 as the two-point conversion failed. But after that, it has been all Harris Lake Park all the time. Backup quarterback Lucas Ahrensdorf, who's starting in place of Tice Gunderson, hit a deep shot down the sideline, and it went for a long touchdown, 62 yards. Ahrensdorf throwing it to Caleb Hemphill. Hemphill had another touchdown as well as Ahrensdorf had another big deep shot on their next drive to get them in position for another score. Hemphill would cap off the drive with another touchdown. Then towards the end of the first half, things really fell apart for Bishop Garrigan. They had the ball with under 2 minutes to go, but Garrett Hine threw a pick six. He was hit as he threw, and it was Hemphill running it back for a touchdown. And then once again, Bishop Garrigan got it back about 1 minute to go in the half, and on third down, Hine took a deep shot. It was intercepted. It was returned to the 25-yard line of Bishop Garrigan. And if just enough time in the half to score, Harris Lake Park did exactly that. They got it down to the goal line. They scored with 10 seconds to go on a touchdown pass thrown to Devin Meyer. And it accounted for the 32-6 margin that we see here at halftime. Harris Lake Park leading Bishop Garrigan as they look for their 4th win in a row. Harris Lake Park has gotten 4 passing touchdowns from Lucas Ahrensdorf tonight, 3 of them coming to Caleb Hemphill, 1 to Devin Meyer, and then also the pick 6 by Caleb Hemphill as well, accounting for this 32-6 margin. But I would say the pass rush tonight for Harris Lake Park has been the key defensively. Garrett Hine has not had much time tonight. He's been sacked 3 times, one of them being a strip sack. He was hit when he threw during that interception, and he has just not been comfortable in the pocket tonight, and there's just not as much mobility as you would normally have when you're trying to move on the grass. You can't quite cut on the dime tonight just because the field is so wet. So Hines had to deal with the wet field plus a ferocious pass rush coming from the Wolves. And then just offensively, the Wolves are doing a great job. Coach Gunderson really said it in the pregame. Their goal is just to get their playmakers out in space. That's what they're doing all season long. And boy, they are doing that with Caleb Hemphill tonight. They are doing absolutely every possible combination to try to get Hemphill the ball. You know, some sweep plays, just some screens out in the flat. They put him out as a wide receiver, and they've sent him deep a couple of times tonight, which has worked great. And they are finding a way to get Hemphill the ball time after time after time. And give credit to Harris Lake Park. They've done a great job shifting their offense. It's kind of gone from a quarterback-centered, Tice Gunderson-centered offense to, now that he's missing this week, it's transitioned to a Caleb Hemphill-centered offense. And that is certainly no small task to make that adjustment, especially when Harris Lake Park went into this week saying, well, maybe we'll have Gunderson tonight, maybe we won't have him tonight, but we've got to prepare either way. And while doing that, they were able to get Hemphill multiple opportunities, got him out in space, and got him multiple big plays in tonight's game. As again, he had 4 touchdowns, 3 of them receiving, 1 of them via the pick 6. And Garrigan's offense have been frustrated. We talked about how in the game against Newell Fonda, they just really struggled to generate explosive running plays, and they had one really big run early in this game of Cal Berkey. He had a huge, I believe, about 30-yard run, got a face mask penalty at the end of it too, and it looked like Garrigan might really open it up in the running game after that, but since that time, the Wolves have really just improved on defense. They've limited any big plays after that, and Bishop Garrigan has not been able to sustain long drives and really able to punch it into the end zone besides that one early drive in the first quarter. So down 32-6 at halftime. Golden Bears here just having their homecoming weekend football game just spoiled so far by Harris Lake Park, but still the whole second half out in front. Golden Bears will try to make some halftime adjustments, and we'll see what kind of adjustments they make as they will have to make them quickly here down 32-6 at halftime. Well, with that, we will take another timeout. We'll step aside here for about 4 minutes. Let's get 4 minutes on this break, as we still have about 6 minutes to go until halftime ends. So we'll take a 4-minute break here, and we'll come back and get you the final 2 minutes before halftime to break it down. Coming up next on Home Country Radio. Coming back here at halftime between Bishop Garrigan and Harris Lake Park. Again, 32-6 the score right now as Harris Lake Park leading Bishop Garrigan in this key district game. We've got a couple minutes to go until we start the second half. The Wolves will come back out onto the field here to warm up, and the Golden Bears will likely be following them here shortly. I believe they'll probably add a couple minutes to the clock here. It's obviously homecoming weekend at Bishop Garrigan. They've been doing homecoming festivities all halftime. Great performance by the Bishop Garrigan band, as always, in spite of these cold temperatures and some of the rain that we saw earlier tonight. And, of course, right now they're talking about some of the homecoming candidates that Bishop Garrigan saw this week as well and honoring them here at halftime. But in the football game, again, it's been a struggle tonight for the Golden Bears, 32-6 as they trail Harris Lake Park. A couple of big keys in the first half. Harris Lake Park +3 in the turnover differential as they forced 3 Bishop Garrigan turnovers. The Golden Bears were not able to force any Harris Lake Park turnovers. And then just not a ton of huge plays for Harris Lake Park, but they did hit 3 or 4, which I guess in the course of the first half is, still quite a few. And really they were able to get Caleb Hemphill really involved in that first half. Hemphill knew he would have to take a much bigger role than ever before with Tice Gunderson being injured in tonight's game. Boy, he has responded with flying colors. 4 touchdowns for Hemphill as he caught 3 touchdown passes. Also went for a pick 6 as well. And then just the defensive line just really disrupting Bishop Garrigan. It all starts in the middle with the nose guard, Ethan Nelson for Harris Lake Park, as Nelson has been just a disruptive force tonight, as well as Nick Sage. Sage has really been that 4th guy on the blitz a few times, and when Harris Lake Park has brought 4 guys, Bishop Garrigan's been a little confused. They've had trouble picking that up, and Hine has just been under all kinds of pressure tonight. So Ethan Nelson, just that nose guard in the center, occupying 2 blockers whenever he can, and then the rest of the guys blitzing, and just causing a lot of issues for the Golden Bears. We'll see if the Golden Bears can get on track running-wise at all in the second half. They really like to put Cal Berkey in that slot position and try to motion him across the formation. Maybe they'll run a couple sweeps of him in the second half and see if they can get him in a little more space. Berkey had 1 big carry, but besides that, he was shut down for most of the first half. Caden Roffler running pretty well as well early, but saw a few opportunities dry up for him as they got closer to the second half. So again, just, a couple things working early on for Bishop Garrigan. That's how they got that first touchdown on the board. But after that, just you're playing uphill for a lot of the first half. They saw themselves trailing as Harris Lake Park scored. Golden Bears will have to start scoring very quickly here in the second half. And we'll see if the Golden Bears can still even run the ball a little bit. Obviously down 32-6, you're going to see a lot more passing in the second half than you did in the first half. But you're still going to want to mix in your big weapons. Cal Berkey, Caden Roffler, if you're the Golden Bears, and see if you can still continue to get them involved in this game in spite of the deficit. Golden Bears did defer to start this game. The Eyes on Forrington coin toss was won by the Golden Bears, and they deferred to the second half, so they will get the football here to start things off. As Harris Lake Park will be kicking it either to Jack Grangenet or Cal Berkey, both of them standing back inside the 5-yard line, as the kicker is Ethan Nelson. Big number 66 playing on both the offensive and defensive lines. He's got a big leg. He did have a touchback earlier tonight. Actually had 2 touchbacks so far as he'll kick a short line drive. It squibs to the near side, and that one will skip out of bounds. So a kickoff out of bounds to start the second half, and Bishop Garrigan will start off with very good field position here. Oh, it's possible. We'll see if they want to force Harris Lake Park to re-kick it. Sometimes the Golden Bears will elect to do that. You can either take the penalty or you can force the opposing team to walk it off a few yards and then re-kick it again and force their coverage guys to run down the field. But it does appear that Bishop Garrigan is not going to have them re-kick here. They will just take the good field position following the penalty of the kickoff out of bounds. So Golden Bears will start from the 25-yard line. 12 minutes on the clock. We're set to go here in the third quarter on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. And we'll see if Bishop Garrigan made any halftime adjustments. Watch is going to be that offensive line play again. Golden Bears have to find a way to give Garrett Hine more time, and the Wolves will continue to try to heat him up. There's going to be some obvious passing situations in the second half, and those defensive linemen will want to pin their ears back and rush after the quarterback. So we'll see what Garrigan can do here. Hovey's out to the right. Berkey and Grangenet to the left as Hine starts off in the shotgun. Berkey motions across the formation as Hine will throw quickly out to the right, and it skips at the feet of Berkey, incomplete. What they were trying to do there is essentially a long handoff to Cal Berkey, just drifting out to the right flat. Ahrenstorff went over there in coverage, but Hine just delivered the throw low and at the feet of Berkey, incomplete. Again, like we said in the first half, wet ball is definitely a factor. It does look like for the most part the mist is stopped here, but again, that field is going to be wet all night long tonight. As Hein will have two receivers to the right, one to the left. The Golden Bears seniors back to throw as the four-man rush comes. It's a slant to Hovey. He juggles it and he catches it at the 35-yard line. They try to strip the ball away from him, but Hovey is knocked down at the 36. He has enough for the first down. Combining on the tackle there, Devin Meyer and Caleb Hemphill. Aiden Hovey had 99 yards receiving to coming into tonight, so he has crossed over the century mark of that reception. And Bishop Garrigan has the ball at the 35-yard line. 11:42 and ticking on the clock as Justin Bauer runs into the game. Bauer will be the receiver on the right side for Bishop Garrigan. Hovey, the tight end, will line up tight to the left side of the offensive line. He'll have his hand on the ground. Hein in the shotgun again. The senior rolls right. He's under pressure, has to step up, trying to escape. He runs forward and he's banged down hard. He gained about 2 yards on that play as flying in from the left side was Ryan Bensley. Hein saw the middle open up for a possible running attempt, but that closed quickly. Bensley with some really good speed from the linebacker position. And Hein took a big hit there, gained about 2 yards, and it'll set up second down and 8 from the 37 of 10:59 on the clock. Golden Bears will have Sam Plath onto the field. Sam Plath on the left side of the formation. Hovey is the receiver to the right. Berkey is slot left, and Hein in the shotgun again. Rothler remains the lone back on his right side. He'll fake the handoff to Hein, motioning. Hein will lob a pass to the left side, looking for Plath. Makes the catch, and he's at the 15-yard line. Hein dropped that one in the bucket. I mean, it was good coverage there on Plath by Devin Meyer, but an even better throw by Garrett Hein to drop it in. And Bishop Garrigan has the ball at the 17-yard line. They are inside the Red Power red zone. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that is the first wide receiver reception this year for Bishop Garrigan. All the receptions previously had either gone to tight ends or running backs with Hovey. And if you want to count Berkey as a receiver, maybe you can, but he's really a running back by trade who occasionally lines up as a wide receiver. But that is the first true wide receiver catch of the season for Bishop Garrigan. Grand Jeanette didn't have any coming into tonight. Neither did Plath, but Plath has one on the board. Hein to throw. He steps up. He's lobbing it towards the end zone. Grand Jeanette's out there. He dives, and it's just out of his reach. Grand Jeanette started towards the middle. He was curling towards the post, and it was just out of his reach. As out there in coverage was Carter Hibma, and it's second down and 10 of 9:59 on the clock. Hein just led him a bit too much towards the boundary that time, because Grand Jeanette did win on his route, but just unable to make that connection, as it'll be second and 10 from the 17. Cole Ash will come onto the field for Bishop Garrigan. They're really rotating that receiver position in and out between Bauer and Cole Ash and Plath and Grand Jeanette. They're all getting a little run here tonight. Hovey's out to the left. Hein back to throw. He steps through pressure, and he's stripped again. The ball pops out, but Hein got back on top of it. Flag comes in from behind the play. Devin Meyer wreaking havoc. As of right now, has Hein sacked for a 1-yard loss after that strip sack, and the Golden Bears are walking back even further, so it is going to be a hold against the offense. Golden Bears are very, very fortunate that wasn't turnover number 4 of the night. You just never know how that football is going to bounce coming out of the quarterback's hands, but fortunately, it stayed at the feet of Hein, and all he had to do was fall straight down on top of it. But again, we're seeing ball security issues, and Bishop Garrigan has seen that on and off so far this season, but tonight, again, the 3 turnovers, one of them being a fumble, and then Golden Bears did fumble that one, but got back on top of it, setting up second down and 20 from the 30-yard line as Bishop Garrigan is backed up out of the red zone. Bauer and Berkey will be out to the right. Hein continues to play in the shotgun. Harris Lake Park rushes 2. Hein over the middle, and it's incomplete. Tried to hit Berkey on the slant at the 20-yard line, but it's just a bit out in front of him, out of his reach, and it is 3rd and 20 from the 30-yard line. Harris Lake Park 32, Bishop Garrigan 6. As we play in the 3rd quarter here from Bishop Garrigan High School. The Wolves have rained on the parade of Bishop Garrigan here on homecoming weekend. But Golden Bears have had their red zone issues the past couple of weeks. And they got in the red zone here earlier this drive, but they're now backed up to the 30. 3rd down and a mile to go. Empty formation for Garrett Hein. The Wolves rush free. Hines back to throw. Meyer coming from the blind side. Hines steps away from the pressure and rolls to the right. Hines throws over the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. The only players in the area that time were Wolves. He was looking for Sam Plath, but in the area covering were Landon Whitrock and Lucas Ahrenstorff, and it's now 4th and 20 from the 30-yard line. Well, right now, the Golden Bears have their offense on the field to go for it. This is kind of no man's land. I mean, 4th and 20, definitely not an ideal situation, but at the same time, when the line of scrimmage is the 30-yard line, you might consider a punt here, and now they'll run the punt team in. They'll bring Nemers on. He doesn't have a ton of room to work with. He's going to have to use a little finesse as he kicks it away. Ahrenstorff is standing back at the 15. Nemers will kick a wobbler towards the near side of the field. It bounces at the 5, and this is going to be perfect. It's going to check out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Justin Bauer is back there covering anyways if it hadn't gotten out of bounds. And Logan Nemers, with some good directional punting, will pin Harris Lake Park back at their own 5-yard line with 9:09 on the clock. A 32-6 lead for for Harris Lake Park, that is, over Bishop Garrigan. And it'll be the first drive of the second half for the Wolves. Ahrenstorff, who threw 3 touchdowns in the first half, has 2 receivers on each side of the formation. Hemphill motions and takes it. He is sweeping to the left. Hemphill getting to the edge. Hemphill to the 10, steps out of a tackle, and he's to the 11-yard line. He gains about 4 yards. Hemphill never really hit full acceleration on that play, just kind of looked like he was jogging, waiting for the blocks to set up, and just kept following his blockers all the way to the boundary. And Harris Lake Park will take a 5-yard gain on first down to stay ahead of the sticks, ahead of schedule on 2nd down and 5. But this Wolf team, boy, they motion on every single snap, whether it's Hemphill or Meyer. One of those two is going in motion every single play, and you've got to have good disciplined eyes if you're Bishop Garrigan, as this time it's Meyer motioning, keeping it up the middle. Ahrenstorff spins away from a tackle, but then Brody Ludwig will wrap him up just shy of the 15-yard line as he'll be stopped at the 14. 3rd down, make it about 2.5 yards to go as we tick down to 8:45 in this 3rd quarter. So a 3rd and short conversion. Empty backfield for Ahrenstorff. Hemphill is the slot right wide receiver as he now motions towards the left. The snap comes in and it rolls to Ahrenstorff, and he's tackled. He is wrapped up. Brody Ludwig makes the tackle, and that is going to be a Hy-Vee sack attack. Caleb Borman in there as well. You might give half a sack to each of them. So a Hy-Vee sack attack here coming, and that'll force the 4th down. Harris Lake Park will be forced to punt it away. Of course, with every Hy-Vee sack attack, Hy-Vee is donating a $25 sack of groceries to a local food pantry, so good to see the Golden Bears get on the board with that one. Jack Ranjanette will set up to receive the punt. He's standing back at his own 35-yard line. Loinstra receives the snap. Golden Bears almost got a hand on that one as it knuckles to the near side. It'll bounce out of bounds, and the Golden Bears will have glorious field position. It'll be on the Harris Lake Park side of the field, and it's just a matter of where they spot this one. The referee will stop at the 36-yard line of Harris Lake Park, so Bishop Garrigan will start off on the plus side of the field following the punt. At one time or another, Golden Bears are going to have to find a way to take advantage of this good field position. They got in good field position a couple of times last week against Newell Fonda, couldn't capitalize on it. And here tonight, have gotten into the red zone a couple of times, and oh, there's going to be a holding penalty. I did not see that flag on the field. Boy, that's a killer for Bishop Garrigan. There wasn't even a return on that play, but they're going to get called for the hold. So still good field position, relatively speaking, but now they're at their own 34-yard line. So 34-yard line, Golden Bears trying to capitalize on the field position of 7:42 on the clock. Trayton Sink will come in for Bishop Garrigan. I've only seen him for a couple plays on offense so far tonight. And he will be the lone back, joining Garrett Hying in the backfield as Berkey's in the slot. Berkey motions to the right across the formation as Hying flips it left to Sink, catches in the flat. He's to the 35, and he's forced out of bounds at the 36-yard line. That'll gain 2, as that was good pursuit by Caleb Hemphill. Boy, Hemphill, we have called his name a million times tonight. He is flying all over the field on offense and now on defense as well. Boy, it's good to have someone like him if you're Harris Lake Park, someone who can really get boundary to boundary, counter any speed the opposing team has, and not let a little pitch into the flat like that turn into a big play. Hovey, the tight end, is out to the right. Two receivers to the left for Hine. Berkey motions again towards the right as Hine looking to throw. He guns it out to the right and has Berkey at midfield. Berkey lowers the shoulder, and he is out of bounds. He's at the 38-yard line as there's a big collision of him and Ahrenstorff, and Ahrenstorff's a little slow to get up. And boy, that's something Harris Lake Park cannot afford, as Ahrenstorff will at least sit out for this play. That's already your backup quarterback, and if he's banged up at all, the Wolves will be down to their third string quarterback. So hopefully he's all right. But he had a big collision there with Berkey. I mean, Berkey comes flying in like a bowling ball. Low man wins, and Berkey was the low man that time. Third down, 3 yards to go. 7:31 on the clock for Bishop Garrigan as Hines underneath center. Pitches it left to Berkey. Berkey looking for the edge. Meyer misses the tackle. Berkey lowers the shoulder, and he'll come up slightly short of the first down, it appears, based on the initial spot. Looked like Meyer had him initially right at the original line of scrimmage, but Berkey's jersey is already wet, and he's a slippery runner anyways, as he got pretty close to the sticks. And they might be wanting to measure this one here. The initial signal was that he was short, but now they are going to set up here to measure the spot of this. So the chain gang will come out here. First time tonight we've seen them come out onto the field. They will stretch it out, and Berkey got the first down. So he needed 3, and he got 3, and Bishop Garrigan will move the sticks. So 1st and 10 from the 36, Golden Bears trying to get their first score of the second half. Harris Lake Park right now on a 26-0 scoring run. They've scored the last 26. Bauer to the right. Berkey slot right as well. Hines in the gun. The senior's back to throw as the Wolves will rush just 2. The rush gets through anyways, and there's a sack. Nick Sage just slipping past Helliseth that time, wrapped up Hine, and he could not get accelerated on that wet turf enough to escape. A pass rush has been relentless, and boy, that is something you can't have happen if you're the Golden Bears. You've got 3 guys blocking 2 pass rushers, and one of them sneaks through and gets a free run at Hine. So that'll set up 2nd down and 19 from the 36. And Hine is going to have to wash his jersey after this one. He has been on the ground quite a few times tonight. Hine looking to throw, flips it to the left. It's out of the reach of Sink, incomplete. Flag coming in from the official on the far side of the field. That was just a swing pass attempt looking for Sink coming out of the backfield and trying to get him a running start. And it appears to be an illegal shift against Bishop Garrigan, but Harris Lake Park is just going to decline that penalty and take the incomplete pass to set up 3rd down and 18. The line to gain is at the 26-yard line. 6:09 to go in the 3rd quarter as Harris Lake Park leads 32-6. I formation here for Hine. He'll turn around and he'll fake the give to Sink. Hine rolling right. He'll take a deep shot looking for Grangenet. It's a high pass. Grangenet comes back to it and he makes the catch. Grangenet grabbing it. He is at the 5-yard line. A great grab by Jack Grangenet. He was double covered out there. He was the only deep receiver in the route. But that ball was a little underthrown, and that actually worked to Grangenet's advantage because he was able to work back to the ball, kind of squeezed in between those 2 defenders, and was able to box him out for the catch. So a deep shot. Garrett Hine to Jack Grangenet, and that is Grangenet's first reception of the season. Now 1st and goal from the 5, inside the Red Power red zone. It's a give. Roffler right at the middle, and he is stopped just shy of the goal line. They scored a touchdown on a very similar play to that earlier in this game. And Roffler will be spotted at the 1-yard line, maybe just outside of the 1, with 5:30 to go in this 3rd quarter. Hovey, the tight ends on the left side of the line. I formation of 2 backs in the backfield. Hine turns and gives to Berkey. Berkey dives, and he's in for the touchdown. Cal Berkey finishing off that drive for Bishop Garrigan with a 1-yard touchdown run, and that'll make it 32-12. Well, we'll get to see Bishop Garrigan on a 2-point conversion attempt again here. See if that 2-point conversion that Coach Wadley and the team have been focusing on in practice here the past couple of weeks is there for them. 3 receivers are out to the right. Hines in the shotgun. Hine looking to throw, puts his foot in the ground and runs right. He dives towards the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. Garrett Hine makes it 32-14 as Bishop Garrigan puts 8 points on the scoreboard. We'll take a timeout and come back in 60 seconds on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. As we come back, the kickoff is away to Harris Lake Park as Hemphill fields it. He's to the 20, 25, 30. Hemphill down the sideline, and there he goes again. Can they get him? Caleb Hemphill to the 20, 10, touchdown. But there's a late flag. It's near midfield. The flag wasn't thrown until after Hemphill had already run it back, and we'll see what this is. That flag came in a good 30 yards behind the play. For now, Hemphill has just returned a kick for the touchdown, but we'll see what this penalty is. The touchdown is good on the field, but we've got a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct against Harris Lake Park. You don't see that too often, so the kick return touchdown is good. Hemphill picked his direction immediately. He went to the left, went right down the sideline, and boy, that was just simply a case of Hemphill outrunning everyone. Didn't really have to break any tackles there. He just had to turn on the jets, that sprinter speed, and take it to the end zone. Caleb Hemphill, a career night. That is his 5th touchdown. He's caught 3 touchdown passes. He's gotten a pick 6, and he's scored on a kick return touchdown. Hemphill has now scored in every phase of the game tonight, and that is not going to make Coach Wadley and the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears happy, as now it'll be the extra point attempts coming here. If the score 38-14, 5:05 on the clock. August Jones getting set to kick it. 1 for 2 tonight on PATs. Snap is a little high, ball down, kick is end over end, and that one is no good. Jones missed it again. Boy, tough night for the kickers. Obviously the wet field, a little bit windy here as well, and Jones, who had not missed a single PAT this season, he was 13-13 coming into tonight. He has missed 2 of them as the score stays 38-14 in favor of Harris Lake Park. But ladies and gentlemen, we are getting a show tonight from Caleb Hemphill. I mean, these haven't been cheap touchdowns either. A couple of them have been big 60-plus yarders. He had that big 62-yard touchdown reception earlier. That kick return probably going for about 70 yards. I didn't quite see the exact yard line he got started on with that one, but he had to earn that one, especially had to go across the field from the near side all the way to the far side, so he probably ran a little closer to 90 or 100 yards on that return. But Caleb Hemphill, 5 touchdowns for Harris Lake Park, and they have rolled out to a 38-14 lead here on Bishop Garrigan's homecoming football game. Well, Harris Lake Park scored 63 against St. Edmund last week. They've scored at least 40 points 3 weeks in a row, and they are 2 points away from attaining that mark here tonight. Due to the dead ball penalty against Harris Lake Park, the kickoff will be taking place from the 15-yard line. Meyer has a pretty big leg, but not big enough to kick it over Garrigan's head from here, as Berkey and Grand Jeanette will stand at the 15. And he kicks it end over end. It's a good kick back to the 15, and Berkey fields it. Berkey runs to the 20. He's to the 30. Berkey steps out of a tackle. He's at the 35, and he is finally stopped there. Actually, mark him a little short of the 35, down to about the 34-yard line. So Cal Berkey just put the foot in the ground, ran it back straight ahead, and Bishop Garrigan will have the football at the 34-yard line to start off this drive. Well, all right, let's see what the Golden Bears can do here. Last drive, they were able to march it down and get the touchdown, and part due to that big deep shot that Garrett Hine was able to hit to Jack Garangenet. I'll tell you what, if there's one positive Bishop Garrigan can take, last week against Newell Fonda and tonight now against Harris Lake Park, Golden Bears have hit on a couple of those deep passing attempts. They're starting to dial that aspect of the game in a little bit, but you know, defensively and offensive line play tonight has gone down a little bit in that fashion. It's a slant to Hovey. It is juggled and it's incomplete. Boy, that one was almost intercepted on the tip. Carter Hibma was trailing Hovey on the play. Hovey tipped the ball, it went behind him, and Hibma tried to dive and pick it off, but that is going to be incomplete. So 38-14, second down and 10. Hovey attaining the 100-yard receiving mark on the season earlier tonight. From the 34-yard line, 4:52 to go in the quarter. Hines in the shotgun. Everyone's standing up on the Harris Lake Park defense as they bring three. It's a free runner again. Roffler is able to pick him up at the last minute and chip him. Hine rolls right. He throws and it's incomplete. Off the hands of Kolash, right at the sticks at the 35-yard line. Boy, that was a nice last-minute blitz pickup there by Caden Roffler. I thought for sure Hine was going to get lit up on that play by a man coming off the right side of the line of scrimmage at that time, but Roffler raced over there across the formation. Hine was able to boot out and roll away from it as well, and it's third down and 10. Bishop Garrigan at least avoids the sack there. But still, once again, Bishop Garrigan's not going to be happy about seeing a free run at Garrett Hine like that. Hovey's out to the left, Grangenet wide right, Berkey slot right on this third down play. Bishop Garrigan needs the 36-yard line. Hine standing, two-man rush. He's flushed out to his right, throws back over the middle, and it falls incomplete. That was a wobbling pass as Hine got pressure from the blind side that time by Ethan Nelson coming behind him. And again, two-man rush, but Nelson was able to beat his blockers pretty quickly, come in off the left side. And get Bishop Garrigan will be forced to punt here as Logan Nemmers will come onto the field. So 4:38 on the clock, 4th and 10 from the 34. Hemphill is back deep, having just returned the kick for the touchdown. I would imagine Nemmers might try to directionally kick it away. It's a low snap, but Nemmers fields it well. It is a kick to the near side of the field along the sideline. It bounces out of bounds, and that's going to be inside the 10-yard line. They will spot it down at the 6. Logan Nemmers, once again, a picture-perfect punt. Second time tonight, he's gotten one down inside the 10-yard line. And he wisely kept it away from Hemphill. Hemphill was set up in the middle of the field. Nemmers just kicked it right down the sideline. And sometimes if you aim too much towards the sideline, you can run the risk of just shanking one out of bounds. But that was textbook. 38-14. In the shotgun is Aaron Storff. Hands off to Hemphill. Hemphill jumping to the left. He is across the 5-yard line. And Bishop Garrigan piles him up after a gain of 1 or 2. Cal Berkey at the bottom of that pile. Garrett Hine diving in on top as well. Setting up second down and 9 to go. Four minutes to go in this third quarter. 3 receivers to the right side as it's a give to Hemphill. Hemphill running off the left. Ludwig grabs him from behind as Hemphill gets just shy of the 15-yard line. He's at the 14, and he'll set up third down and short. And again, nice little play there by Harris Lake Park. They had their quarterback, Aaron Storff, run a couple steps to the right. Hemphill was coming across the formation to the left to take the handoff and just try to throw Bishop Garrigan's defense off, get them all flowing in one direction, and have the play go the other way. But Garrigan stayed with that pretty well, so it's third down and 3. Hemphill back to throw. It's a toss to the left, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and a flag comes in at the very end of the play, and this looks like it's going to be against Bishop Garrigan. Coach Patterson throwing his hat on the sideline, so I think that tells you about all you need to know. Ahrenstorff, a little swing pass out to Hemphill on the left side, and Golden Bears had that stopped for no gain. But now it's possible here a penalty will extend the drive. And this is going to go against Bishop Garrigan and result in a first down. So 1st and 10, 3:23 to go. And that is going to move it all the way to the 30-yard line. Boy, bad break there for the Bishop Garrigan defense. This has definitely been the most penalty-filled game Bishop Garrigan's been involved in so far this season. Golden Bears have had a few penalties here on defense. Harris Lake Park's been dinged for a couple as well. Down to 3 minutes to go in the quarter. From the 30-yard line, in the shotgun, Ahrenstorff. It's a draw to Hemphill, trying to bounce it to the left, and he's out of the tackle of Hovey. He can't get back to the line of scrimmage, though, as the pursuit catches up. Boy, slippery running once again. Hovey had him about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Hemphill was able to bounce off of him, but then Hine flowed over there and was still able to tackle Hemphill for a loss of about 2. 2nd and 12, 2:41 to go. Harris Lake Park 38-14 over Bishop Garrigan. Ahrenstorff stands alone in the shotgun. Both Bishop Garrigan's ends standing up, ready to get after him. Ahrenstorff pumps once. He'll throw it over the middle of the field looking for Meyer. It's tipped and incomplete. Broken up by Sam Plaff. Bauer was in coverage. Sam Plaff kind of roving there in the middle of the field, getting ready to pick up any of the deep men. And that was good coverage by the Golden Bears. Meyer has some good size coming across the middle of the field. He's listed at 6'1", 185 on the roster, but not a bad throw, but good pass break up by the Golden Bear defense, setting up 3rd down and 12 from the 28-yard line. So 3rd and 12, 2:14 to go here on the clock, and it'll be empty formation again for Hemphill. Meyer motions left to right across the formation. Ahrenstorff flips it out to the right, has the catch. Meyer, he's across the 30, and that's all he's going to get. He'll be driven backwards, and he'll get the 32-yard line, but he'll come up about 8 yards short there of the first down. And Harris Lake Park will be forced to punt. Caden Roffler and Cal Berkey on the tackle as Loinstroll gets set to kick it away. It'll be interesting to see the numbers after this game for Ahrenstorff. His completion percentage has to be through the roof. And a lot of that is, they're taking a lot of safe throws, just swing passes out to the flat and short routes. But he's hit on a couple deep ones tonight, and he's got to be completing at least 70%. As Loinstroff punts it away, boy, very nearly a block for Bishop Garrigan as Garrigan catches at the 12-yard line. He returns to the 15 as the tackle's a miss. He's to the 20, gets a block, and he's tackled at the 24-yard line. Good return from Jack Garrigan, going all the way across the field. And boy, once again, a very late flag at the last minute. And this one might be another personal foul dead ball penalty. And this one's going to go against Bishop Garrigan this time. Teams are chatting it up after the play ended, and the referee will get a dead ball personal foul against the Golden Bears. Well, Harris Lake Park had a dead ball personal foul on the kickoff return touchdown, and now Golden Bears will get one on this punt return. And these two teams have definitely started jawing back and forth here in the second half. I don't think they will be enjoying the homecoming festivities together, let's put it that way. So down to the 12-yard line, that's where the ball will be spotted. With 1:19 to go in the third quarter, and Harris Lake Park leading Bishop Garrigan 38-14. Golden Bears will break out of the huddle, and they will have Hovey out wide again. He's on the left side. Cal Berkey is tight to the right side of the formation, and Hines in the shotgun. Berkey motions across again. Ahrenstorff runs with him. Hine under pressure, steps away from it, fires over the middle, and it's incomplete. Garrigan was out there one-on-one against Carter Hibma, but Hine could not get enough juice on that pass to get out to him. As again, the pressure came, Hine had to step forward. Did a nice job there maneuvering to avoid the sack. Just good pocket awareness to step up in the pocket, but had to get rid of it. And it's 2nd down and 10. This time Golden Bears will have 3 receivers to the left side of formation, 1 to the right, and they will whistle and blow the play dead here. They're going to spot the ball. Ball wasn't spotted correctly there initially. Now they have it right. 2nd and 10 from the 12-yard line. Empty for Hine. Here comes the blitz. He throws to the left, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Boy, Meyer came in untouched once again, and he batted that ball down. Not a lot Hine could have done there. He was just going to flip it out to the left, but once again, Harris Lake Park trying to bring more guys than Bishop Garrigan can block. As a quarterback, you have to know who your hot guy is, and Meyer just got his hand in the passing lane that time and knocked it away. I mean, the MVP tonight so far for Harris Lake Park has clearly been Caleb Hemphill because he scored 5 touchdowns, but if there was a runner-up, it would definitely be Devin Meyer. He has a touchdown of his own. He's been very disruptive on the defensive side of things, and those two have really been the headliners for the Wolves so far tonight. 3rd and 10. Hine rolling left. Here comes the pressure from behind him. Hine reverses back to the middle of the field, looking for a block from Demers. He stops, and finally he's knocked down. Hine ran around about 20 yards that time to gain 1, and Sage made the tackle. Also helping out there was Loinstra, and Bishop Garrigan will be forced to punt. Under a minute to go in the quarter. 4th down and 7 for the Golden Bears. And I sound like a broken record, I know, but Hine has been running for his life all throughout the night. And the key to the game for Bishop Garrigan, like we talked about in the pregame, the offensive line play. They just have not been able to pick up the pressure that Harris Lake Park has been able to bring as the punt is away. It is fielded by Hemphill. He's out of a tackle, and he's only able to get to the 36-yard line before the rest of the Golden Bears come in. Trainer initially slowed him down. Jack Ranjanette able to make the tackle with 24 seconds on the clock, and the Wolves getting the ball back just shy of midfield. But the Golden Bears, I will say this, they have definitely not seen a team this season that has brought pressure as often as Harris Lake Park. Harris Lake Park has definitely brought a few blitzes, and even when they don't blitz, they're often still getting through to Garrett Hine. Even when they only rush 2 guys and Garrigan has 3 guys in there to block, they've still been able to force Hine off his spot. It's been very rare tonight where we've just seen Hine standing in one spot, waiting back there and delivering. He's been moving his feet all night. Ahrenstorff trying to run left, getting forced back to the middle, and he is dragged down. Caleb Borman making the high tackle, and that'll be a loss of 2 by Ahrenstorff. So 2nd down, and now a player is injured on the field. That is Loinstra. He's lying down, and he'll be tended to by the trainers with 11 seconds to go on the clock here in this 3rd quarter. So 38-14, injured player on the field, and with that, we'll take a quick timeout and come back for the rest of the 3rd quarter next on Home Country Radio. We're going to go to the 4th quarter here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, as Harris Lake Park leads Bishop Garrigan 38-14. Injured player there was Loinstra as he was helped off the field after the injury. The clock ran in the final 11 seconds ticked off, so the teams are going to switch sides here, and we will get started with the 4th quarter. And it'll be a 3rd down and 12 attempt here on Harris Lake Park after the -2-yard run by Lucas Ahrenstorff. Ahrenstorff, again, like you mentioned in the pregame, filling in from the normal starting quarterback, Tice Gunderson, and Ahrenstorff has more than done his part tonight. He's been throwing the ball right from his receivers. He's looking so comfortable throwing the deep ball tonight. And of course, they're always going to ask Ahrenstorff to make plays with his legs. And even though he hasn't gotten a ton of huge plays with the legs, Garrigan has at least had to respect the quarterback running game tonight. And that has certainly been a factor as well. So from the 35-yard line, that's where Harris Lake Park will have the ball.
very interesting to see the stats of the game. First of all, he's got approaching double-digit catches at this point. They've just continued just to set him up there in the flats. I just a little pitch and catch between him and Aaron Store. So 4th down and 4. See what the Wolves elect to do here. This Garrigan is actually making Berkey is going to receive the punt. Delivering the punt in here. A little high, but it's fielded cleanly as it is booted away by the punter Braden Baylor. And it is caught by Berkey at the 10-yard line. And over Bishop Garrigan will start off the drive. Tony Stray is their normal punter, but left with an injury at the very end of the 3rd quarter. And Braden Baylor sees the punt get away. On the 10-yard line, Bishop Garrigan will start off here on 38-14. 10:24 left to go in this one, and just a reminder, over on our sister station, KLGA 92.7 FM, we'll have the Radio Iowa High School Scoreboard Show coming up at 10 o'clock. Right now, things not going too well for the Algonquin Bulldogs. They're trailing North Pole 48-22. That game going on in the 4th quarter. Back to throws high. It's a slant to Kobe. He makes the catch as he falls to the 20-yard line. Right at the sticks, and they're going to send out the spot for the Lopez game. The Ruckers at 10 yards for the 1st down. Well, no, actually, came up a half-yard short there. They had the 2nd down on the sticks, so make it 9, about 3/4 of a yard for Aiden Hobie, but that's just a nice little routine pitch and catch, a slant with your tight end, and Garrett finally able to complete that to Hobie. Back to throw again, he'll flip it out to the left to Berkey. As the 1st down, he's to the 35, out to the 36. So 1 out of bounds, it's 9-1 on the clock. Bishop Garrigan. And part of this has been because they've been in so many obvious passing situations, chances to score as, but Berkey has been spending almost all the time in slot position so far in tonight's game. Has been transformed into a little more of a receiver. Bishop Garrigan having to throw the ball. Fine comes in, Fine flips it to Green. Ginetti makes the catch. He tries a stiff arm. He's across the 35. He has the 1st down, so now I don't know what the flag is, but that flag came down in the Bishop Garrigan backfield, and once again, it's going to be an illegal shift on the Golden Bears. Someone not set at the time of the snap. That's something that both these teams can run into at times. Both these teams like to motion players. Going forward at the time of the snap. So a 1st down and 15 to go. 20-yard line for the Golden Bears. 38-14. Down there 10 minutes to go in this one. Bishop Garrigan next week will be involved in a homecoming game as well as will be at St. Edmund. That'll be their homecoming week. Bears continue on with the district play. All the games from here on out, the regular season, are going to be district games. The 2 non-district ones are in the book. I'm looking to throw. He's hit in the backfield by Sage, and he's dragged down. Oh, what a play by Nick Sage. Sage overpowered 2 Golden Bears that time. He dragged both Walker and Hine down. And that is, or I think Sink, beg your pardon, Hine down, trying to block him. Nick Sage making another big play on defense. Sacks are mounting here for Harris Lake Park. Really coming into tonight, pass rush was not really one of the things you thought about for the Wolves as far as strength of the team. You thought about good quarterback play, very fast, explosive athletes on the edge. As Hine guns it, Hobie catches, and then it pops out at the last minute. Incomplete. Now 3rd down and 15 is targeting Hobie at the 22-yard line. Throw was maybe a little behind him that time. 9:02 to go. It's once again 3rd and very long for the Golden Bears. Wide to the right, Berkey slot right. 2 receivers to the left for Bishop Garrigan as Hine stands alone in the backfield. Hine back to throw, the 2-man rush coming. Pressure off the edge, and Hine is sacked again. That is number 66, Ethan Nelson. He won his one-on-one matchup with Drew Casey. And Nelson sacks Garrett Hine. Bishop Garrigan's backed up inside their own 10-yard line, and they'll be forced to punt here at 8:40 and ticking. This is a relentless Harris Lake Park defense. I'll tell you what, people who watch
District football here do know Harris Lake Park has a very solid defensive unit. Won the district last year. They shut out GTRA, which is something that's very hard to do. As the punt bounces, it'll roll past the 35-yard line and down to the 34 of Harris Lake Park. And that'll set up first down and 10 from the 32-yard line. 8:19 to go on the clock here. Wolves taking over in the fourth quarter. So first down and 10 from the 32. 8:19 left in this one. Harris Lake Park in control as Ahrensdorf leads the offense back out onto the field. Two receivers on each side of the formation. Empty backfield as Ahrensdorf flips it over to the right. Catch is made by Whitrock. He's running towards the sideline, and he's banged out of bounds into the Harris Lake Park bench. Pitch and catch to the outside. That'll gain about 5 yards to Whitrock, who makes his first reception of the night. And we'll see here if we start to see a few different faces for Harris Lake Park. Obviously, it's been a lot of Hemphill and Ahrensdorf tonight, as well as Meyer. But Whitrock getting in on the action as we tick down towards 8 minutes to go. Second down and 6. Empty formation again for Ahrensdorf. Takes it, runs it up the middle, and he's got space. He's across the 40, he's to the 30, down the middle to the 20, breaks it outside to the 15, he's to the 10, and Bauer finally knocks him out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Boy, that quarterback draw had not been open all night long, but this time Ahrensdorf took it. He saw his opportunity, just took it straight up the middle of the defense, made a nice cut there late to bounce it outside when Garrigan finally caught up to him, and he stretched that play all the way down to the 2-yard line. That is another huge run for Harris Lake Park, and you can see why Ahrensdorf normally lines up as a wide receiver when Gunderson is healthy, because he has some explosive speed in the open field. So 38-14, Harris Lake Park on the doorstep of the goal line. They are down inside the red power red zone. And this time it's going to be a formation of 3 people in the backfield for Harris Lake Park, and they'll take a timeout here. So timeout Harris Lake Park. We'll take a timeout right with them here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. So Harris Lake Park takes a timeout. They've got it on the 2-yard line of Bishop Garrigan with 8:02 left on the clock, and Harris Lake Park leading 38-14 in this one. We'll see if they come out with the same formation. They'll have Hemphill, who's been the running back, getting set to take a direct snap, 1 man on each side. He'll keep it. He'll take it right for the middle, and nothing is doing. He maybe got 1-yard line down to the 1, but Bishop Garrigan really bunched things up in the middle of the defense that time and did not allow Hemphill to take it up the middle for another touchdown. Well, Hemphill already has 5 touchdowns tonight, 3 receiving, 1 on a return and 1 on an interception. 38-14 here. Over on our sister station, Algona trailing North Polk 55-22 in the fourth quarter. Getting that update here. 7:36 left in this one. Second down and goal from the 2-yard line for Harris Lake Park. And once again, they'll have Hemphill getting set to take a direct snap. He's got Banner on his right hip, Meyer on his left. Hemphill will keep it. He's trying to drive through the middle. He's getting pushed, and he didn't get there. Bishop Garrigan turns him back at the doorstep once again. Got back from the line of scrimmage. Oh, and a late flag comes in. This is going to be another dead ball foul. I think they're going to get Caleb Borman on that one for Bishop Garrigan. He's holding his hands on his head. This has been a chippy game all night. We've seen dead ball personal fouls on both teams. And it's going to be half the distance to the goal here once they officially mark it off. Yep, they'll point towards Bishop Garrigan. Oh boy, this has gotten very, very chippy and very sloppy here on a wet and cold and windy night here at Bishop Garrigan. So ball will be moved down to the 1 yard line. They will reset the play clock here, and Hemphill, who's taken direct snaps on the last 2 plays, will try to get touchdown number 6 of the night. .6:28 and ticking. The Wolves will be content here to let the clock burn away here for a little bit before they run this play from the 1. So 3rd and goal from the 1 yard line. Hemphill in the same formation, and we'll get a whistle and a timeout once again taken by Harris Lake Park. We'll take another timeout here with that timeout, and we'll come back in 60 seconds on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. So coming out of the timeout, it's 3rd and goal from the 1 yard line for Harris Lake Park. Hemphill taking the direct snap, and they'll throw a flag and blow it dead here. And that is going to be a false start against the Wolves. So back it up to the 6 yard line here with just over 6 minutes to go. A tough homecoming night for Bishop Garrigan. 38-14 is the lead for Harris Lake Park. And the Golden Bears set to lose their 3rd in a row here, barring a huge comeback. Well, Ahrenstorff is running back into the game here. At the 1 yard line, they were running direct snaps to Hemphill, but now they'll bring their quarterback back in if Ahrenstorff. Hemphill's going to be to the right. Meyer to the left from the 6 yard line. Hemphill motioning. They pitch it to him. He's wrapped up in the backfield, and Borman rides him down. Outside of the 10 yard line, they'll stop him at the 12. And that will set up 4th down and goal with 5:53 and ticking on the clock. Well, good defensive play for Bishop Garrigan that time. They read that play the whole way, with Hemphill coming across the formation, and the Wolves have been trying extremely hard to get him touchdown number 6 of the night. We'll have another whistle here as they try to spot the ball. Boy, they're moving it back up all the way down to the 3 yard line. Was there another flag on that one? I didn't see any laundry on the field, but they're marching it up here as if there was just a penalty there. So here's what it is. Harris Lake Park is going to kick a field goal. The field goal posts are actually in the old traditional football field, so you have to move it up 10 yards before you kick a field goal. There's a flag at the snap. Bishop Garrigan blocks the field goal attempt. Bauer picks it up, and he's running with it. He's down the sideline to the 30 yard line, and we'll see what that flag is. I wonder if Bishop Garrigan might have been offsides there, but we'll let the referees determine that. Sorry, folks, took me a minute to pick up on that one. We have not seen a field goal attempt this year by either Bishop Garrigan or a Bishop Garrigan opponent. We've only seen PAT attempts, so it took me a moment to realize why they were moving it up 10 yards, but because the goalposts are still at the end of the 100-yard field instead of the 80-yard field, they've got to move it up that 10 yards to account for that. So they will try it again here following the penalty. So Golden Bears getting a highlight play wiped out there, but now Harris Lake Park will go for it here. 5:20 on the clock, 38-14 is the lead. And they'll go for the field goal attempt again, it appears. got August Jones as their kicker. Jones is a senior. He's had an up and down night. He's been tremendous so far this season, but a couple missed PATs. But he'll try to tack on a field goal here. It's a pretty short one, just over 20 yards for Jones. Snap is a little high, ball is down, and Bauer blocks it again. That one's going to count for real this time as Bishop Garrigan recovers it. Justin Bauer got a great jump coming off the edge from the far side, and he blocked that field goal, so the score stays 38-14. Well, he felt bad. There just haven't been too many highlights tonight for Bishop Garrigan, and to see a highlight play like a blocked field goal wiped out. But they got it for real the second opportunity, and Bishop Garrigan will take over the football at their own 12-yard line. Or check that, they'll get it at the 25 now following the block, I beg your pardon. There was a return after that block as well. Got to account for that, so we'll see what the Golden Bear offense can do here. 5:13 on the clock. Garrett Hine coming back out onto the field as he has been beaten up tonight by this Harris Lake Park defense. They have been on him quickly with that pass rush. And he'll try to march the Golden Bears down the field here as he's in the shotgun with one running back on his right hip. Berkey motions across the formation as Hine. Good pocket this time. It's a slant, and it's caught by Hovey. He's across the 40, and he trips to the 35-yard line where he's knocked down. Quick pitch and catch that time over the middle of the Hovey. Hovey and Berkey were in almost the same spot on that route that time, but Hovey caught it. They actually kind of let Berkey get out in front of him a little bit as a blocker, and Hovey is able to rumble into the territory of Harris Lake Park down to the 32. In the shotgun, Hine flips it out to the left to Sink, makes the catch, sidesteps to the 30. He's hit and he is knocked down there. Landon Whitrock there initially to make the tackle, and then a couple other players come flying over, including Travis Loichins to help make the tackle as well. That play gained 1 yard, so set up second down and 9, down to 4:41 to go. As we mentioned earlier, coming up at 10 o'clock on KLGA 92.7 FM, it's the Iowa High School Scoreboard Show as Hine throws a slant to Hovey, this one breaking up. That was almost Caleb Hemphill jumping that route and getting the pick, but it was off his hands. And if he had made that pick, he would have run for a while and might have gotten that 6th touchdown of the night he'd been looking for. But in any case, incomplete pass, setting up third down and 9 with 4:29 left in this one. Bauer will come in at receiver for the Golden Bears as he runs into formation. He'll be out to the right. Hovey to the left and Berkey slot right. Hine in the gun of the running back on his left hip as he takes the snap, fires over the middle, and that pass is knocked down at the line. Ethan Nelson got his hand up in the passing lane and just swatted that one down at the line of scrimmage. 4th down and 9 with 4:25 left. So Golden Bears will obviously go for it here and try to get a 4th down conversion. Roethler will play Sink. Sink getting quite a few reps here on the last couple of drives. Bishop Garrigan is at the 31-yard line right now. They've got to get it down to the 22. Hine in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Here comes the pass rush. Gets rid of it quickly, but it's knocked down again. And guess who? It's Nelson coming through. The big man in the middle of the defense to swat down that pass and force the 4th down. Turnover on downs by Bishop Garrigan. And with 4:21 left, Harris Lake Park will take it over. I'll tell you what, there are some very good defenses in this 8-player district. And there have been some good defense Bishop Garrigan has seen this season as far as Newell Fonda last week and Westman Mountain the week before that. But boy, this defense definitely is in the same category as those two defenses. They have gotten a tremendous pass rush, and that time it was Nelson just, again, push up the middle. He's from the nose guard position, just able to bring the offensive lineman back by a couple feet, stick the hand up at the last moment, and knock the pass away. And now Harris Lake Park will have a different quarterback in. Landon Whitrock is set to take snaps at the quarterback position as we'll have a flag flying in here before the play starts. And this one's going to back up Harris Lake Park 5 yards. But Whitrock had a reception earlier tonight. Normally a backup running back as he'll take the snap, and he is immediately buried in the backfield Golden Bears with great penetration that time. They drive him back to the 20-yard line for a loss. And that'll make it 2nd down and 20. Caleb Borman getting credit for the tackle, and Bishop Garrigan will make an 8-for-8 substitution here. They'll run their 8 starters off the field and bring 8 reserves into the ball game. So Golden Bears will empty out the bench. We'll try to call a few of those guys out throughout the course of this final drive here. Benji Traynor in at the linebacker position. We're seeing Nick Learer on the defensive line. Also in for Bishop Garrigan, Owen Murphy, as a flag comes flying in, and that'll blow the play dead. Wyatt Rosenmeyer coming off the bench as well. False start against Terrace Lake Park here. Andrew Lichter in for Bishop Garrigan also. Ethan Marceau on the field right now. Brody Ludwig. I believe we got everyone for the Golden Bears. Oh, one more, Isaac DeLang. There we go. So that's the new 8-man defense for the Golden Bears, the second team unit in here for the final 3:27 and ticking in this ball game. Whitrock will have an empty formation, 3 receivers to the right. He'll take it, he'll try to run it up the middle, escapes the initial wave, and then Brody Ludwig gets him from behind and knocks him down. Lear and Traynor also piled on top, as that one will gain maybe half a yard and set up 3rd down at about 24 yards to go. 2:58 left in this one. Bishop Garrigan will try to shake this one off and have a game against St. Edmund coming up next week. Bishop Garrigan fell 38-20 last season against St. Edmund, but we'll look for the revenge coming up 1 week from tonight. Terrace Lake Park will have a huge matchup next week against GTRA as Whitrock fakes the reverse, that is. Lowers the shoulder. He'll get to the 20-yard line as he gains a couple, and it's 4th down, and a punt team will come on for Harris Lake Park. Another interesting game going on in the district tonight. I'll be interested to check the scoreboard. West Bend Mallard against GTRA. Those two teams both undefeated in district play. One of them will no longer be undefeated after tonight, so we'll wait and see what the result of that outcome is. But that is a very fascinating game in the district as Golden Bears back to receive. They have Owen Murphy, and they're also sending Isaac DeLang back as well. The punter is Banner for Harris Lake Park. We're down under 2 minutes to go in this one. Snap is good into Banner. He'll kick a short kick. It's end over end. It'll bounce at the 35-yard line and take a Garrigan roll out of bounds at the 37. So Golden Bears will start on their own 37-yard line, and we'll see if the second team offense also comes in, as the second team defense was just in as well. It does appear we're going to see a handful of reserves here for Bishop Garrigan. A lot of the same guys, but a few new faces as well. Caden Graves is going to be in on the offensive line for the Golden Bears. That's the first guy who pops into the screen. Looks like Carter Schwab's going to be on the field as well for Bishop Garrigan. So 1:46 left to go in this one. Eric Lansing is going to be the 3rd offensive lineman. He just runs onto the field late here. And then Drew Mahler will take the snaps at quarterback. Of course, Mahler getting the start in Week 9 last year. His freshman campaign got that start. And he'll handle the final drive here for Bishop Garrigan. Mahler turns and hands it off to Murphy. Murphy is spun down in the line of scrimmage as the tackle is made by number 83, Dwayne Ingham. Ingham makes that tackle for no gain, and both these teams have emptied out their benches here for the final couple plays in this one. Minute and a half to go. Kyle Borman will run into the play for Bishop Garrigan. Borman will be out to the left. Mahler underneath center, and Mahler turns around. He'll hand it off to Murphy. Murphy looks to get out to the right, shakes a couple of tackles, but then he is swarmed and knocked down. Landon Whitrock coming in up high and knocking down Murphy. No gain as his forward progress got him back to the initial line of scrimmage, and we have less than 1 minute to go. Don't forget, stick around after the game. We will award the Erpelding and Voigt Player of the Game. We'll do a quick recap, and we'll send you on for the night and get you ready for next week. 47 seconds left. This will likely be the last play here for Bishop Garrigan as Mahler's in the shotgun. Mahler back to throw. Mahler looking left, flips it out to the left, and that is incomplete. Well, that'll stop the clock. See, there's your announcer's jinx right there, so there will be at least one more play here on 4th down. So 4th down and 9, 38-14. Harris Lake Park leading here in the 4th quarter. Bishop Garrigan will go for it. Borman's out to the left, Mahler underneath center in the I formation, and he'll pitch it. Owen Murphy has it. He's across the 50 to the 45-30. Murphy into the middle of the field to the 20, and he is down at the 19-yard line. A nice run for Owen Murphy to move the sticks. And at least a nice burst there for Bishop Garrigan to end the game. Always good to see guys who, don't get a whole lot of playing time, maybe play a little more on the JV team, take advantage of their varsity opportunity. And the clock will burn away here. Bishop Garrigan will line up to run at least one more play as we're down to 17 seconds to go. Mahler underneath center, pitches it left to Murphy. Murphy's got Marceau blocking out in front. Murphy to the 10, and he is near the first down sticks. He gained about 9 yards on the plays. We're down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And Harris Lake Park makes a definitive statement tonight. They come into Bishop Garrigan and spoil homecoming night with a 38-14 victory. This is a very, very good team for Harris Lake Park. They do it without their starting quarterback tonight, and they do it behind 5 touchdowns from Caleb Hemphill as he scores at least one in every phase of the game. Well, we'll take a timeout, and we will award our Erpeling and Voigt Player of the Game coming up in 60 seconds on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. As we come back to wrap it up from Bishop Garrigan High School, final score tonight, Harris Lake Park 38, Bishop Garrigan 14, as the Golden Bears struggles continue, and they fall to 2-3 on the season, dropping their third in a row. Harris Lake Park improves to 4-1. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get to the Erpeling and Voigt Player of the Game for tonight, as the Player of the Game will be awarded a certificate from Erpeling and Voigt and Company, as well as KLGA and KLGZ Radio for the performance in tonight's game. And I think for tonight, let's give it to the special teams guys. I'm talking about Logan Nemmers, as he had a very good night punting-wise, and it's not often the punters get a lot of love. Obviously, Logan plays a little bit on the offensive and defensive lines as well, but punting-wise tonight, he pinned Harris Lake Park inside their own 10-yard line a couple of times. Really good directional punting by Nemmers. Again, got a little action on the offensive line tonight as well. So Logan Nemmers is tonight's Erpeling and Voigt Player of the Game. Well, with that, we'll give a quick recap in this one. Again, I think the biggest recap you could give is no starting quarterback for Harris Lake Park, no problem, as their backup quarterback, Lucas Ahrenstorff, threw for 3 touchdowns. Caleb Hemphill scored 5 touchdowns as he caught 3 touchdown passes. He returned a kick for a touchdown as well, returned a pick 6. And actually, I should give Ahrenstorff credit. He had 4 touchdowns, not 3. I almost shorted him one there, but 5 touchdowns from Hemphill, 1 in each phase of the game. Golden Bears just could not handle the Harris Lake Park pass rush on offense either. I'll be interested to see the final numbers tonight, but Hine had to have been sacked 7 or 8 times tonight, just not to mention hit all night long. He was hit on the pick 6. Golden Bears ended up with 3 turnovers there in tonight's game as well. So just a lot of things you can point to, and a lot of things to work on heading into next week against St. Edmund. So tough loss here on homecoming night, but that is the way it goes sometimes. Harris Lake Park, obviously a very solid team. They won the district last year, and they're looking like a playoff team this year as well, especially once they get their starting quarterback back. Well, that is it for tonight. Just a reminder, the Iowa High School Scoreboard Show is coming up in about 15 minutes on KLGA 92.7 FM. So that'll be going on over there of scores from around the state of Iowa. Again, next week we'll have coverage St. Edmund against Bishop Garrigan at 7 o'clock on Friday night right here on Home Country Radio. That is all for tonight. I'm Tyler Lance signing off. Once again, final score, Harris Lake Park 38 and Bishop Garrigan 14.